Alrighty, we return once more. Welcome back to Sunday Shenanigans, episode 11. As the party still hasn't come up with a group name, we're still kind of working on that. And for once, we're joined by Keznanok. It's
Been
shocking.
2 weeks.
I know many people probably don't recall that he missed out on multiple sessions as he didn't come back after he left on vacation suddenly. As many of you may remember, he has not returned since the last his vacation to his family's place.
I've
So,
been gone for 2 weeks.
no, you missed session, I think, since the session right when you were on vacation before I think your grandfather came back.
So 3 weeks.
There you go.
My apologies.
4 weeks. We get back into it. You can go back and check the logs. But yeah, no, with Kez been gone, we're now short one player who will hopefully be showing up momentarily. And it could be years in the sense of the game time, given when Kez shows up and when he doesn't. Um, but with that being said, last time we left off, we got a new player. No, not really. That was the session before then. But no, actually, the party spent most of their time traversing through the city of Velkomen, the secondary city of Hrimperser's Last Hold, for those who are unfamiliar, the city we started in for Sunday session. The party having landed in the territory after meeting with a very unique individual who seemed kind of nuts, but also somewhat sane, a terrifyingly mysterious hat rack, and dealing with a ship that seemed to run more on hot gas and water than actual magic, the party managed to find themselves into the city of Elkomen. With that, they would spend most of the rest of the session going around town, though with a quick introduction to Dan the mayor, as well as a very suspicious imp that the party did not trust at all, given the fact of Roten's kind of introducing him as his son. A son in which poor Dom managed to figure out really quickly did not exist. With that said, the party did kind of decide to avoid both Dan and this individual at all costs, instead following around with Sen, and joining on with what Sen is coining as the Calorium Squad, as the party would take some quests under his name without having yet come up with their own party organization name. And a minor note, of course, to the party member who this matters quite a bit to, Eider managed to get himself some nice adamantine off of Sen, though he does still owe a bit of a payment on that. We come back, though, about 4 hours after the party had spent some time spent their time in the guild, picking up quests and purchasing items. The party decided to spend some time throughout town looking around, gathering information by themselves, and kind of splitting up. While one of them stayed for the most part on the ship, the rest of them found themselves kind of traversing throughout. With Dom heading up towards the guilds and where the massive library was, kind of digging through everything, we found Ned spending his time making or learning how to make primitive shanks, as well as other such items out of simple equipment, thanks to Eider's clumsy success, we'll call it, in all honesty. He was still quite successful in comparison. And with that, Eider would also spend their time kind of investigating and learning about the quests themselves and the information about the individual monsters. As we come back, you lot have kind of gathered together out in front or inside the ship. I imagine in the top deck where the helm is and the captain's quarters is a table set out as you have the quests that you've chosen to kind of focus on, as you lot have all come back together after spending the most of the last 4 hours kind of amongst yourselves, gathering what little info you could amongst the town. As you kind of look over the quest board, you lot, what would you like to do?
Well, just so you're aware, that one, when I tap the sheet with the list of quests on it, like deliberately point at the feathered worm quest. And it's probably not a worm one, based off of the information I managed to find out.
Mm.
Still a bit hazy
I-
on what the wolf is, by the way.
I was going to say I looked as well for information on feathered dragons and found nothing. They don't exist. So whatever it is isn't actually a dragon. Did you find anything in regards to its weaknesses or what we could use to lure it out?
It seems to be harassing people. Well, it's jealous of the area, so frankly, showing up on this frozen area, frozen lake, ought to draw it out. I believe. As far as weaknesses, exists in this ice place, so I imagine fire, given dragons are fairly elementally light. But that's about
But if it's
all.
not a dragon, that might not be the case.
A fair point. That's just my supposition there.
Trying to see if I got. I'll be honest, guys, out of character, I didn't get the best rolls for my information stuff, so I'm trying to see if I have anything of use.
I mean, you guys aren't at this point forced to like head out of town or anything. It's not like you're being shoved out of the. There's no
Yeah.
time limit as listed on the quests themselves. Sen, I will imagine, is still kicking back in the corner. By the way, listening to all this. Kez, for your own reference and your own notes, last couple of days you've been kind of avoiding the party with the expectation of Zopip re-showing up after he disappeared, and so
Yeah,
this is
because
kind
I
of.
remember when we were talking with the whole 8 actions, I was going to be... has that already happened?
Yes. Yeah, so you would
Okay.
have. That was what the whole point of the actions were, yeah.
Gotcha, alright. So, alright, we're all together again. I was under the assumption that we were about to do that.
No. This already happened the last 4 hours, so yeah. This was what was going on prior to you guys all coming back to the table here.
Oh, damn. 24 on the gather info, I got nothing. That's crazy. Alright. Man, yeah, Zopip is a ghost.
That should tell you more about
I mean-
anything.
Yeah, that actually makes me like, wow. God, he could be anywhere. Alright,
In this very room. He could be me. He could be you.
Like, wait, I'm Zilpip.
God, I hope not. Alright, so, the plan is to, at least as I currently see it, you three, assuming Ned's just there being nonverbal, you three have taken up the quests and have found that this one about a feathered wormling is the one you guys want to go for?
Yeah, right off the top. There's also one involving a spirit, but that one seems like more of a run-of-the-mill sort of haunting. Could exercise it, or we could just kind of shimmy it along.
The
Let me take a look at that quest.
although-
Talk amongst yourself. I'm going to take a look at this quest board real quick.
It's suddenly
The
real.
one-
Kez like starts shuffling through the papers as he starts reading everything for the first time.
One under and over the 3 that we like took off to accept, so Kez can look at those because we actually took them off the board.
Thank you.
Do you? Let me look at the exact names of those because I don't remember the names. I just remember which ones we took. I believe it was a dire situation. The snow spirit capture, and then a skyward situation, I believe. Yes. Don't underlook as Keznak looks it over and go, the warning, though I doubt that's what it is, seems to pay the best, be among the easiest, assuming this isn't a creature too outside of our scope, and the parts are useful. I looked around town, and one of the shops actually specializes in making items out of monster parts, meaning any monster quests we take where we kill something, we can get items out of it ourselves, as well as selling the parts for the quest. It just seems the most efficient.
Yep. Plus, it seems like at least a good way to try and figure out how exactly we work together, considering we haven't yet.
I agree. Kind of look at our new friend here with his adamantine armor.
I'm a gleaming bastard.
I was gonna say you are like the best armored out of anyone in the group now.
There is an unassailable air of dwarven smugness going on.
And in
Oh,
the
yeah.
distance, there can be heard a DM laughing evilly as he watches his players get very excited about their new toys.
I definitely no, that has nothing to do with what you just said.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
actually quite curious about the dire situation. Yeah, this definitely seems the one that might be the best for us.
You want to just randomly wander around the mountains for a little bit?
I mean,
You
we could
said
just
there
follow the
was
river. It's where the
a lake or something, right?
it's they're trying to construct a bridge and it's happening near there.
Oh, dire situation. Wait, am I thinking of the wrong one? Oh yeah, no. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the Skyward situation, not the dire situation.
No.
Too many situations.
Too many
Oh
situations.
yeah, too many situations.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about the one where you just like have to go like investigate the mountains.
No, this is the feathered wormling has taken over the river.
Yeah, that's the exact one we were just talking about.
Yep. So probably just have to go check out the construction site, and we'll probably be able to find it there.
Do we believe it would be best to approach loudly to draw the creature out, or to attempt to quietly approach and scope out the area first?
I'm gonna be honest with you. There's not a chance you're gonna get a quiet entrance with me.
I'm not
As-
We
exactly.
could leave you
the most
behind for a bit at a distance.
I'm definitely not. Although I'm not wearing heavy armor, I can't say I'm that silent either.
I forgot we lost the one who used to do that troubling.
You know.
Hunter looks at the party and at Ned, and I think is looking at Ned, who is silent, and is silently realizing he might be the stealthiest person here besides maybe Ned. And this, considering his size, does not bode well.
Yeah, I mean, I've got all of. Let me see. What's my move? I mean, I got a +2 to my move silently.
I have
And
a.
hide.
I think I have a -10.
Nice.
Oh no, it's masterwork. That's right. I get to I get to reduce the armor check penalty by 1.
Never mind. I think it's actually worse because of my yeah. Nonetheless, I'm not gonna be any good here either.
Yeah. Full disclosure: if it can fly, it can see a seat pretty easily, most likely. Besides, well, if we're wanting to hunt this thing, I think we want to give it an excuse to try and stay on the ground and actually fight us. Because if it tries to fly around being an absolute bastard, then this gets to be annoying.
How much of the information Eider got did he share at the party? I assume all of it, correct?
Yeah.
So from
then Donner will look at him thoughtfully. You mentioned it hoarded statues of itself, seemingly, or something to that degree. Perhaps if we attack and damage the statues, it would be forced to land to intervene. It seems possessive of them, which likely gave it the reputation of a dragon.
Entirely plausible. Admittedly, if it is, let's say, not even draconic, just territorial, then just showing up to its lair might be more than enough to espouse a sense of anger, if you will. I don't know. I don't like people showing up unannounced in my house either, to be honest.
I don't think it's a creature. They say it's a dragon, but if it isn't, I don't think this is a creature that is intelligent enough to be reasoned with, which means we would likely have to simply treat it like a beast.
I like pause for a moment. You see like wheels turning in the back of my head. It's like, never mind. Now is not the time for a philosophical debate.
Dom kind of raises a brow at you as you're like, what defines a sentient creature?
Your intelligence score being 6 or above.
3 or above, actually.
I thought sentience was 6.
Is this
No, it's 3. 3 is whenever you're
Like-
like actually sentient.
By
Um,
DM,
3.5.
is rolled at 6.
specific? 3.5.
It's 6 in this world.
That's fine. That's fine. Like mechanically, like animal stops being an animal, starts being a magical beast if it hits 3 ent.
Yeah, I had to change it due to some stupidity that happened due to a player. I'll tell you that story some other time.
All
But
right.
yeah,
Let's see here. Well, from what I've been hearing, your research didn't really come up with much, at least in terms of what we're dealing with. Seems kind of like we're dealing with a lot of unknowns here.
Yep.
I think, given we don't know what it does or what it can do, one of the smartest things we can try to plan for is ways to immobilize its wings, either cutting feathers or aiming attack specifically at those. A flying creature is going to be made to fly, to fight
So
while flying, to evade while
we-
flying. If we take away that, it'll be weakened.
So we know for sure it is a flying creature.
It has feathers.
So does a penguin.
What's a penguin?
No, it's the information I saw is it's been known to fly over the frozen lake.
Okay.
Also, it's hoarding statues of waterfowl, not statues of itself.
Hmm,
Good God, no.
that does seem odd.
No, it can't be.
Is that a character? Yeah. Yeah.
No, it can't be.
It is. It is, I think.
No. Feather.
Legendary super goose.
What? You know, you might very well have something there, buddy.
Kez feels a past but also future life inside him tremble
Yeah,
with fear.
Hey, you know, you might have something there by saying something more of the goose variety. Oh, God. 1,000-yard stare.
Me and Hunter in the corner like, oh.
Wait a minute. Wait a
Hunter
minute.
definitely needs a drink. Alright. Perhaps if we took the
God!
waterfowl with us, we could draw it out if it seems to like their image.
Don't worry. I'm Canadian. I got this. No, I'm just...
I'll be honest with you, just carrying a net's probably going to be enough to, keep it from flying too much.
They can smell beer.
Were we given a descriptor on its size, Royce?
nope. Just
I look at our...
all I will note is, given the fact that they're giants mentioning this creature, you'd probably assume that this creature has got to be on equal size. So you'd at least generally you'd assume large to huge would be probably the range you're looking at.
I look at our tiny little itty bitty dwarven friend and go, "Do you have a net that's big?"
We're by giants. I assume you can get at just about any damn thing you want that's large.
We can go buying things. Yes, I thought you were suggesting you had one on you.
No.
In
I don't see a net of that size on him right now. I'll be honest.
When I was looking at the shops earlier, Royce, did I see like nets in any of them, or did I just not go to the right shops for that?
Yeah. So the shop of Stirk would offer nets on sale. So you'd be able to get them there as far as your own notes. What they're made out of, that's up to you to question.
So, question on the location
it's-
of this city. Are we like completely like inland, or are we near the ocean?
Since you were here last time, to kind of catch you up, you're inside of a mountain that's partially kind of uncapped. So the city kind of domes up into the top of the ceiling and then expands above the peak of the mountain out in the exterior. Right now, you're in a more of a looser setup. I think we have a picture.
So,
Yeah.
so kind of almost like a volcano, just very
Yeah,
like inactive. Okay, I got
yeah,
you.
very basically as if a mountain top had been blown and
Presumably
hollowed
inactive.
out. Yeah.
What you
Well,
might refer to as a caldera.
yeah. There are hot springs that do run about the main roads of some of the streets in here, but there does not seem to be any active sulfur smell that you can that you have caught.
Gotcha. I was curious if we were near the ocean because if we needed large nets, fishing nets would have been the go-to.
Well, if
But
you want me to send you the map specifically, really quickly, I can post that for you. One sec, so you can get a full idea of where you are. I was gonna say you can't. You do have Sen just sitting over there, who's just kind of minding their business. So for your own. Oops, if I can actually draw today, that would help. Yeah, but yes, you are pretty far inland because you're only right next door to Rim Purser's last hold.
yeah, so fishing equipment wouldn't really be a thing here.
Yeah.
But large nets for catching creatures, I feel like might.
Sturk is a monster hunting based shop, I will say. Donlander would have mentioned. So they will have like monster hunting gear there, presumably.
Yeah, they'll probably have a sizable net there.
They also have the most amazing meals.
This is literally the smallest mountain of this range, is what you're currently in.
Okay.
Yep. The little circle at the bottom.
And just like turn around with a net and say, "Well, we got a good deal on a net."
As you you take
big
the
is
net
it?
from Sen, Sen just kind of hands it to you, smiling. It's large from what I believe he stated.
Yeah, because it's a Sen-sized net and Sen's large.
Yes.
Oh my god, he gave you his fish nets? His stock.
This very pink, this very red and pink troll. Yes.
Did we tell Kez that we hired this guy? Because I don't think Kez was with us when we fought alongside Sen. So this is just a random pink troll.
No, Kez went in his room before you guys noticed the hat rack.
Yep. He did not care about anything else, and he heard he had his own space he could stay in. He went into it. So.
Oh, Kez, there's just a random troll here now.
It's not Zilpip, and I feel like that's all he cares about.
Listen, don't ask, don't tell.
Unless it is.
All right.
All right, you stop your shit. He's enough of a paranoid wreck.
Eyes darting around.
You know, I saw lots of gnome-shaped barrels outside.
Pulls out gun. But all right. So, so we're dealing with flying creature, feathers. Which makes me assume that they rely on their feathers to fly. So if we hit it with some pyrotechnics, burning the feathers, it might prevent it from taking off.
Notably, most
Exactly.
things are allergic to fire. Yes.
Looks at you and Fire Giant.
Said most.
Looks at you and fire. I mean, I do have a bottle of alchemist fire, if we need to use it.
Fire, or for those who use weapons, anything sharp that can cut, you cut at
Cut
least
its flat
the
wings.
primaries. Can't fly, it'll be off balance. I've seen it with birds before.
Oh yeah.
It really only takes a few feathers.
Sorry, you just like jog over. I like turn like, oh, one moment. I like go to like the corner and like bring back like two very long, wooden sticks with points at the top and say, "There you go, for you and Nud."
Oh. As you hand Ned those, he kind of takes them and, kind of realizing immediately, smiles and starts kind of messing with them as he starts, like, pretending to attack something that's not really there, making noises and such as he kind of jumps around a bit.
Know you favor other weapons. This can come in handy whenever. Well, I just like gestured how fucking tall y'all are comparatively. You know what I mean. Sometimes it's better not being right next to the thing you're trying to kill.
He nods. But as he kind of starts messing around with him, kind of starting to lose track of what you all are talking about, you see him as he kind of walks over and starts kind of playing and messing around with him a bit, seeing what he can do with the devices, and you'll have to let Ed know what they are when he gets back. If he gets back. We may not have a Ned today, we don't know.
Alright, but we all got our cold clothing on, right? Make sure we're all toasty and warm out there.
I don't know what you're talking about. This feels like a sauna out there. That's great.
Well, I assume this is not taking place in the mount.
We're going over a
Down
frozen.
Is layered up in his cold weather clothes to the side now.
Right.
He did. Put
That's
them
what
back
I
on
was
to be covered.
really, working with. Anyways, my fellow giants here of the not liking the cold variety.
I'm about
I
as
enjoy
immune
the
to
cold.
cold
The
as
cold
you can get.
simply does not enjoy me.
I mean, well, we are specifically weak to the cold.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
Fix that.
We are fire giants. All right. So, got my flint and steel, got some torches. If you all need any healing, I got you covered. Do we need anything else? Actually,
Also,
This kid starts
Let me
patting
go.
himself down. Yeah,
let me
don't.
say, wallet, keys.
we'll say to you three, because Ned is here, and Ned is definitely here and with
Yep,
us.
I can hear everything.
I scoped around while I was looking. I didn't find much useful, but as far as I caught gossip-wise, no mentions of necromancers or any other cults or anything that would suggest they're here yet. I don't trust that's fully the case, but they've at least not infiltrated enough to be in any current circles. There is some shady stuff, I guess, but that's to be expected with every town. So, for the time being, we, I think, have the upper hand here.
Well, good.
They're not established. Let's go gambling, guys.
Hey, Chaston, real quick, what does one need to make that healing ointment you were talking about the other day?
I don't think you can make it yet. I can check though.
Because I know, I don't have any ingredients on me, but I was wondering if I could go, if there's an herbalist in town to go find.
Well, also, it's not ingredients. It's more. It gives you a list of spells. You do have to be a 5th level caster.
Yeah, that's gonna put a wrench in my plans.
Probably the big dampener on your plans.
Yeah, that'd stop me.
Oh, only time to start is from the beginning, and only place to start is the beginning.
Oh,
I fucked that up.
A little too many drinks.
All right, let's
Take
go.
it easy there.
Yep, I can't see anything else that we might need in this journey. So let's head to this river construction.
I would
do we know
assume
if
we
it's?
would take...
Do we know if this river is filled with water yet, or just in starting the process where it's just like a ditch?
The general, I'll give this to you guys, to the rest of the party for free. Kez wouldn't have heard this having stayed on the ship for the most part, but to the rest of the party who was kind of walking about, you would have heard that this town's pretty much pretty being open about its farming build up. It's trying to set up farming lands and tilling the dirt and getting rid of a massive amount of silver that is so thick in the dirt that they're literally scooping it up and pulling silver bars basically out of the ground and then resifting the dirt back in. The water that's been coming through has been continuously following a path that they're kind of setting up as they go, and has not stopped as of yet. The goal is to keep the water from freezing over. So, to that note, to Kesnok's question, it's to know there's probably going to be water there, is a good guess. Whether it's frozen currently or not is another question entirely, because there hasn't been mention on how far the success for keeping the water from freezing over during these times has come up.
All right. Definitely, I say we don't. I don't think we should be. Well, we don't have to be stealthy about it, but proceed with caution. See if we can spot the creature before it sees us. I don't know why I'm talking. I was playing some Red Dead Redemption yesterday, so. All right, yeah.
Kez,
So
you came back with an accent. You were gone.
yeah, I know.
A few hours.
Listen, I was I went to a show last night. Yeah.
On the ship?
Yeah. Books and don't worry
Send it
about
a
it. Don't worry about what I saw. Weird things. Nonetheless, the future gets crazy, kids.
Party leader was on drugs last night. Noted.
Oh yeah, for sure. Listen, you thought Dream really was great. So
I will
yeah.
say, as the party's preparing, if we haven't already, Thumb Under would go with Ned, just because Ned makes sense, to get the cart and the wolf, because I assume we don't want to travel by foot if it's a far distance.
You have an airship.
Either we would... Oh, well, I didn't realize it was far enough for us to use the air. Well, that would definitely attract. I'm just saying, if we want to be semi-stealthy, the airship's not semi-stealthy. However, we could just park on the creature.
Park on the creature?
Squish.
Just crush it.
I
Well,
if we do that, we're most likely
going
going to
by
encounter it in air.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
How far is it? I kind of don't want to use the airship.
There's not the farmlands themselves are mentioned to be about roughly a mile south of the city itself, heading straight down the mountain. So
That's not too bad.
they're because the farming settlement that's kind of getting built up and being developed is at the bottom of the mountain, and so the lake that is referred to, from what you can tell, you'd assume would be down in that area. Though, again, it could also be further up the mountain, as there was no note where the water was coming from outright.
I will point out, DM has said twice, up and down a mountain.
You are in the top of it. You are at the
right.
peak of a mountain right now. And I'm not talking small mountain. We're talking, these are like ancient mountains as far as it goes. These are high peaks that are, reaching to the point where it's causing this to be negative 50 degrees up here, so...
I mean, mountains are mountains. I grew up in the mountains. Granted, they were in the center of the other continent.
And in the desert, and in the center of them where the heat is, not at the top where the snow is.
I mean, the mountain's not the issue. It's the cold, and I've got cold clothing.
That's true.
Well, my point is more of the time investment and just getting down this
Won't be a
motherfucker.
cart trail.
Listen,
Yeah.
I am an
Just
avid
park
mountain
nearby.
Yeah,
Don't
I
park
just-
at the lake.
I mean,
park around the lake.
yeah, I'm
it's
just
like
gonna
rough-
build jump the airship down the mountain and we'll be fine. I think.
I just don't want to be in the area where this flying creature is in the sky. I think that could it's going to be in its home territory at that point. I don't want to be in the air when it's in the air.
I'll be honest with you. If this thing tries to attack an airship, then we were already fucked because that thing is way bigger than we have anything business trying to deal with.
Well, who knows if it's just overly aggressive or not.
Have you seen this airship?
It's like attacking a building with your bare hands.
And I've seen. Have you seen those small little animals that go and attack very large ones, even though they can't?
Yeah, a lot of them die.
Yeah, but that doesn't stop them from doing it.
I think we should take the airship, but perhaps when we see a lake in the distance, don't land it close to the lake. If it stays there, we should still be able to approach on foot if needed.
I say definitely. Let's see if we can follow where this river is. Let's go find the source of the river. Maybe that's where we'll find the creature.
But it's
Follow
gotta-
wherever this water's coming from.
I mean, we could, but it
Let's go.
just has a lair by the lake, or so it says.
Well, I assume the lake is where this supposed water's coming from. Is it not?
Sorry, I was people are pinging me. You're for where the water source is. There's a from what you understand, there is a lake that could be down at the bottom. There could also be a lake at the top as far as it goes. Because as I mentioned, there's not a mention on the quest. Thank you, Dan, on where the water source was. It's just that this is part of the river that is being added to the farmland. So, given the farmland is down below, you can take that as you will.
Gotcha. I thought because the rumors specifically mentioned the frozen lake,
Yep.
that would be like where it was.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just putting out there. I'm saying the farmland is known to be on the bottom of the mountain, and what you've heard is another thing. I'm letting you decide how you want to use the info.
I'm gonna go with what I've heard then.
I mean, you've been doing the research, so by all means,
So where the hell
lead
are
the
we
way.
going?
Hey, you
I
did
am
the
not a
research.
character confused.
Yeah, honestly, I'm also. I feel like I'm being told two different things at the same time.
You are.
Yeah, because the guy's insane. So we don't trust whatever the mayor said. We trust whatever information our party has gathered.
I'll tell you
So,
what, Kesnanok, I'll tell you what. You seem confused. Give me a wisdom check.
Yeah, thank you. Hunter's confused.
I'm gonna give you what I call a common sense check. We're gonna see something here. This is also what I call a DM notes check, because there's stuff that the player should remember that the DM has to remind them of.
All right. I mean, I haven't been here. 20, a dirty 20.
See, something kind of comes to your mind as you're talking about this and having this conversation with the water source, as Eider brings up the fact that he mentions it's a frozen lake and that makes more sense to be on higher elevation. Though everything about the rumors that have been heard is that the farmlands are down below, so the water source being down there would make more sense. But something kind of cues into your mind. When you were last here, there was an attack on Hrimpurser's last hold's water source. It's probably the reason why the information isn't as easily capable or as open. And as it starts to realize, there's probably a reason why there's controversial opinions and information here. They're probably hiding that to avoid another attack by the Gloom. Do I need to spell that out more, Kez? I want to make sure. Does that process well?
I mean, I guess I still don't see how it would be hey, I want you to go do this for me, but I ain't gonna tell you where it is. Like, okay. That still is kind of just a little foolish to me, but that's all right.
I will say, given
guess...
the fact that the party did meet Dan and he is insane and crazy, just dead.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. I've been given instructions, so that's how I'm putting this out there.
Oh Lord.
Well, nonetheless, if there's attacks going on near the farmlands, we should check by the farmlands first. So I say we go check out the bodies of water near the farmland.
All right. I don't have anything against it, and we're not going to glean more information by sitting in one place.
All right.
So let's go find it.
Yep.
All right.
Seems like folks don't know, so we got to go get them.
As Eider turns to start up the airship, moving a couple of thick copper pipes, steam kind of popping out as one of the pipes seems to start whistling. A little bit of what feels like a rumble comes from below, and then the ship starts to move as it starts to go forward. As you lot kind of find yourselves heading through the large two gaping caves on either side of the entrance to the city to kind of enter into the mountain peak. Flying out, you see a large bunch of clouds kind of down below you, looking to be kind of slightly blackened and darkened in coloration. Thankfully, being inside, you don't feel much of the wind or the weather, as most of the inside seems to be surprisingly roughly about 60 degrees, as much of what feels like the pipe work kind of warming up the ship itself inside. As you start to head down below the skyline, though, dropping beneath the clouds, you find yourselves into a hefty winter storm as things start going off. Give me a use magic device to see how well you manage with this. Either as you start to kind of pilot this through a hefty winter storm, kind of pushing through.
Oh Lord.
Oh, Vashti! The Tempest has given us a good one!
Oh, that's not great, but it's not awful. It's a 14.
14. As you try to manage to kind of pull a couple of control or pipes around, moving things, kind of pulling out a bit one of your heavier hammers and smacking one of the pipes back into place. The ship seems to jolt and move about with the wind for a moment, kind of getting picked up for a second, watching as the heavy snow and ice splatters against the very thin glass at the front of the ship. You watch as this stuff kind of continues to plow into it, but as you manage to take control, you manage to take it down to a not comfortable and easy landing, but its turbulence is better than the entire party falling on their butts the entire time. As you've come into a rough landing, flying to the ground, as you find a small little group of huts with very thick hay and green foliage on top of their roofs. As the ship kind of lands onto the ground, kind of skidding into the dirt a bit. As you do so, you see from the windows, you can see a couple of figures, quite large-looking figures, about 27-ish feet covered head to toe in thick greenish coloration of what looks like plant life, come walking out of these huts over towards your guys' ship, waiting to see what happens as you find yourselves kind of waiting inside.
Well, we're going to be here for at least several hours until that goes away. I don't like the chances of doing that again.
Oh, look,
Agreed.
locals.
Let's say hello.
All
Alright. Kezinuk's going to be the first one off the ship.
Oh, all right. I was gonna say Eider went for it first, but all right, we're gonna if Kez is pushing ahead. Eider, are you gonna stop him or like try and kind of get in front of him at all, or are you just gonna let Kez go charging forward just out of curiosity?
No, I mean, he's definitely closer to the door than I am, because I don't imagine the pilot seat is right next to him.
No, you're way up at the front of the window so you can actually see out of everything. The door's at the back towards, like, right next to, like, where the captain's quarter entrance would be going up the staircase, yeah. So, Kez, as you go rushing out, that hefty storm hits you immediately. Give me a fortitude save.
19.
You feel I imagine the very light whisks of clean and well-designed facial, a little bit of facial hair that shows on your face.
There's no facial hair on my face.
Yeah, that's fair. The eyebrows and the your hair have completely frosted over as you immediately feel you stick your head out and the ice hits you. It is a full -60 out here. It is freezing almost immediately. Though you feel your body not taking any damage, the cold is definitely not comfortable as you stick your head out. But as you do, kind of coming up to the top of it, you see the frost giant with his pale blue skin and dark blackened beard that looks to be more as if it's graying at this point. Look up at you and go and wave and go, "I'd recommend you get inside now. The storm's gonna get worse. This is just the start." As he kind of turns and starts kind of huddling back towards the doorway.
Then I'll actually go towards where his hut.
All right. As Kez climbs out and jumps down into the thick snow, Kez, you find as you go ahead and give me a tumble check to see how your landing will go.
Oh, we didn't like Lancer on the ground, or?
It's snowy on the ground.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just like a bunch of...
Yeah, snow and ice and such. You're tumbling down. There's no staircase to like climb off this thing. This is... Oh, did you... Oh, that's right. You weren't here to see what the airship looked like, were you?
Yeah, no, not at all. I'm assuming there's some kind of departing.
Oh, I'm
like,
so
structure.
sorry. Yeah, let me show you what they... Okay, here, I'm gonna post two things real quick.
I was like, yeah, maybe there's like a gangplank or something.
So I'll send you the city, and then let me scroll up a second to find
what not being here for a couple sessions does to a guy.
Right. Hey, listen, you need to show up. You missed the magical UN, the most important part of the party's continual fight.
For sure.
Oh, goddamn, there's so much talking between Maya and Levitos. Give me a minute. Let me scroll
You
up.
could search for media. You could search for media in the Discord.
Oh, can you?
Or even if you're on PC, you can look has image in channel Sunday campaign.
It's already taken too long. I'm scrolling. There it is. All right, and then I've also got the airship. There you go. There's the city and the airship. So for your own reference. Now you see.
War on this thing.
It's a submarine, so it's actually at the top.
Oh.
Yeah. So in a sense, this is an airship, as the party figured out, was built by Bardris. Yes.
Okay.
Said Bardris.
Yeah, that guy.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
So I would assume I'd come
it
up from the
John?
top and slide down whatever, like
Yep.
the wings and whatever off the side. Okay.
Yep, tumbling off.
I
There's
gotcha.
not really an easy way to get off this thing.
Yep, gotcha. We should invest in a fucking rope ladder.
And then give me a search check, because I know you'll be actively looking for Zopip to make sure he's not down here.
We're giants. We're pretty tall.
All right, let's get these rolls going. Ooh, very nice. 21 on the tumble.
21, nice. Managing to easily
and
to
you
the bottom.
said what? Perception, search,
No,
right?
search check. No perception in 3.5.
Oh, 17.
As you go kind of tumbling down to the thing, sliding off the side of the airship's wings, dropping to the sand, easily sticking the landing as you do so. Your boots kind of falling into the thick snow, about a good half a foot. Not really.
Kisnok is surprised, because let's just say my dex ain't the best. Alright, so he was like, oh, fuck.
And arms out to the side, kind of balancing, expecting himself to fall over as he does so.
Exactly.
As you immediately start looking about the distance, you do see something that catches your eye for a moment. Some short, pale figure in the distant snow, but it's so thick with the snow that it's too hard to see at the distance it is. You'd guess it's probably maybe 100, 150 feet from you at this point, into this heavy blizzard that's starting to come down.
Alright. I mean, I could just be seeing things in the snow that's not there.
Yeah, as you, I assume, head over towards the
Yeah.
house. Okay. To the rest of the party, what about you? I mean, Ned is kind of staying on the airship for the time being as he watches you lot get off.
I was kind of like looking at it. I was like, why did you get off the airship?
I thought we could bunker down here. I'm also confused.
Well, let's go make sure it doesn't get killed by people in the middle of the night.
Let's. You
Ned-
first.
Ned just
And I
kinda
make,
smiles.
Like, an extravagant hand gesture for Eider for the short one to jump off first.
I just like look back and I was just kind of sigh, like looking down and go, all right, see you in a minute. I like do like a full hand over nose diver pose and just like just jump.
With that
Alright.
heavy armor, heavy armor. I have to reiterate.
Yeah,
It's
give
so dense.
me a tumble check. Let's see how far through the snow you're gonna fall.
No,
Oh, okay.
I said I'd dive for a reason.
All right.
It's going down.
As you
Okay.
yeah, go ahead. I was gonna say, as you go running off, jumping into the snow, as you dive in, falling with all of the weight on you, you manage to find yourselves now buried up to your hips in thick snow, feeling the thick ice beneath your feet that kind of crunches as you finally come to a stop, feeling something. As you kind of pick up your foot, it is hefty snow that you're kind of pushing through. This stuff's compact.
Yep.
But as you kind of slog your way over, climbing up onto the snow and kind of having to break it away around your legs, you manage to walk forward, kind of heading on. All right, Dom, you're up.
Yeah. I guess I'm trying to figure out if there's a way I could do anything else but just have to tumble as well. But I think.
I mean, you probably have the better chance
Wait,
out of all of us to
didn't
succeed that
Eider
tumble.
have I guess he had a net, not a rope.
I mean, hey, if it's large, I mean, you might be able to use it as like
I
a.
have 50 feet of hempen rope. Can Dunander watch these two idiots jump off the boat, casually watch, and then afterwards tie a rope
And just rappel down?
And casually, rappel down like a sane person?
I mean, if you want
Like
to,
a
you
sane
can use the net. I mean, it depends. Did either take the net with him, or
like I have rope.
oh, you have rope?
I have
Yeah.
50 feet of rope.
Oh yeah,
Just
easily.
casual rope.
Let's
Yeah,
use
Dom's an adventure.
Dom. Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead and give me a used rope check then, and let's see how quickly or how well you tie a knot.
Oh, I forgot that was an actual check. Hang on, let me
Oh,
see
yeah.
if that's higher than my tumble check.
It should be because I don't know if it'll be higher, but it's dex based, so just like tumble,
Oh yeah, use rope versus tumble.
which is
I'm
also
trying to
dex.
find where I even have.
Use rope's at the very end.
Oh
and
yeah,
so
that's the
tumble.
same.
Yeah.
But one of them is way funnier, like watching you guys do all that stupid shit and then being a normal person.
Yeah.
In my defense, I was gonna sink through this fucking snow the second I tried to step on it. I was just saving time.
It's true. At this point, like any
I-
short person, you're just kind of like climbing through, tearing the snow in front of your feet to move it aside so you can dig through.
Didn't get great. I got an 11. I imagine the wind's making it a little bit tricky.
You know, it's funny.
Dom refuses to look like a fool.
You managed to tie a knot that seems to kind of hold as you pull on it a couple times, checking it. It's not a good knot. It's not pretty, but it's an adventurer's knot. It'll hold as you kind of test it out, kind of pull it, letting your entire weight pull on the rope. It doesn't snap as you pull back. As you climb down, yeah, you easily going down the rope, find yourself. Let's give me a climb check now, real quick, just to make sure you don't fall off the rope.
Okay, well, assuming I don't fall off, can I casually like help grab and unbury Eider, who's like
Pulling himself
in
through
the
it?
snow
Yeah.
deep? Yeah. Just
We
like
should've-
try to help pull him on top of it or something.
Gotta get
Okay, you
gotta
said
get
climb check.
Aiter
Where's my climb?
some snowshoes.
Oh no, I don't have good climb.
Yeah.
That was
I will say,
Now,
yeah.
Do we consider a dice cocked if it bounced out of the box but still landed even on the desk?
No, what'd you roll?
Well, the first roll would have been a 17, but due to me re-rolling from it being cocked, I got a 2.
You know, it's funny. Okay, never mind. Oh, it's no longer as funny. Yeah, as Dom goes finishing tying the rope, as you get about halfway down the side of the ship, you feel your hands kind of start to slip from the snow and the sweat on the rope.
I see.
And as you, like, for a second, like, try to tighten your grip with all of your strength, there's a moment of realization as you start to slide immediately down. Finding yourself Oh, good.
Can I?
Bro's so
It's like
smug
that
and
flailing.
fumbles on the
Can
fucking
I
rope.
attempt to do some kind of like performance check or like some kind of deception check to make it look intentional so I don't look like a fool going down?
I mean,
Like, can I
you
try
can
to
give
save
me a
face?
tumble check to see if you can save this.
Oh, there's tumble. I also have Well, no, tumble's higher. I'll take tumble.
Yeah, you can give me a tumble check to see if you can save this.
No.
These
What are you
idiots
performing
are.
for?
Dance down the rope. That's how.
These idiots don't even use a rope.
Use this rope drops.
I have act and dance. That'll be a wow. The dice hate me today. That's a 9.
Question: who's Dom performing for? Because it's a whiteout blizzard.
Yeah, I was gonna
We couldn't see you if
say,
we wanted to.
I'm not looking at you.
I imagine Eider just
Performing
kind of.
for himself.
Eider's gonna hear it when you plop in the snow here in a minute.
I was hired to watch you guys. I'm watching all of this.
Yeah, as you
Exactly.
kind of at first being cockily thinking, you know, well, these fools didn't use a rope, and now having found yourself slipping and sliding, you go tumbling down to the ground, finding yourself trying to make it look like you are managing to, that you're able to recover it and make a roll through it to make it look like this was intentional. You go to let go of the rope and turn to spin and like somersault in the air. But as you do and find your back underneath you, you land into the thick snow, causing your entire back, legs, and everything to sink into the snow, finding yourself buried about a foot in, which is surprisingly enough still to bury almost your entire back and arms. So kind of keep that in mind. As you have to pull yourself back up and kind of stand to go walking forward into the snow, now shivering.
Guess what, guys? I've just invented snow angels. You're welcome.
There's a big imprint of
Snow
Dom
giant.
out in the snow now. Yeah, you can now tell how quickly the snow is going to pile up. As only like about 2 minutes later, Dom's snow angel is completely covered up as you crawling to the door.
You say
No
snow
one can
angel,
see my failure.
yet celestials aren't a thing yet. So
Yeah.
what would it be called?
Snow
Snow
imprint.
giant.
Oh.
Snow giants.
As you kind of go ahead in,
Snow dragon.
Dom, you watch as the rope kind of gets untied from the top and gets slowly pulled back up as Sen kind of waves you on as you and Eider head into the house. As you do so, the door kind of closes behind you. This like wooden, barely a couple of slabs of uneven wood that seem to be put together closes behind you. You expect the heat to not be really that great in here with the very obvious clearing for the floor, but almost as if the room was sealed itself, the heat is almost instantaneous as it warms back up to a nice 32 degrees to try and maintain a comfortable temperature. As you kind of find yourselves coming into what looks to be a single hut. It looks to have normal barren dirt floors, a simple butcher's block off to the side, what looks to be a table with some plates on it and some what looks to be some sort of meat, a couple of two-pronged forks and a knife set offside. At the center of the room looks to be a small fire pit that seems to be glowing slightly blue. And off to the left, you see what looks to be a very large and wide open tunnel that has a little door on it that just says enter if needed. As the two giants that kind of stand there look at you lot, kind of pull logs over towards the fire in the center. The larger and the older of the two that had spoken earlier looks over to you, to almost all of you, and kind of one by one, and kind of stops on Eider, and then kind of stares at Eider for a second, and then looks back over to Kez. And then looks at Dom, and then kind of realizing and kind of looking at Dom, mostly focusing on him, goes, "So what are you not doing out in these frosty areas? Is this your wife and child?"
No.
Oh.
As Dom is like brushing the snow off of his clothes and adjusting his gloves after the rope fail, and he'll look to Kez to see if Kez wants to have him speak or wants to speak now that our party leader's back.
Sir, we are a adventuring party. I'm Kezinok. This is Domnander, and this is Eiter. We do have another member, Ned, but he's stayed in the airship.
He nods and goes, fair enough. Well, you can call me. Well, it was Great Wolf, Great Winter Wolf, but given the recent situation, it's just now Winter Wolf is my name. My daughter here. This is Arena. As he kind of points to the other frost giant who's huddled with a very thick, what looks to be fur and mix of like plant matter kind of all covered up on top of them. There's not even their face really showing at this point as they look over to you, handing you each a plate of what looks to be some sort of darkened meat.
Thank you very much. So we've come from the nearby town, and we were hoping if you had any information on some kind of, from what we were described, a feathered wormling?
He kind of looks at you and goes, "Oh, yes, I'm one of the posters of that Mayor Dan. The creature took my nephew's eye, and one of my son's life. It's a dangerous beast. We managed to avoid it since the storm has hit, but I'm almost sure it's the reason for the storm."
Mm-hmm.
It was on this day, as he kind of looks into the sun, completely cutting you off as he looks into this fire and goes, "It was on this day about a year ago my son was killed by the damn creature. It hungers for blood, I tell you, and it's cursing Utham himself for it." Kind of looks back at you with a somber look and goes, "If you're planning to fight it, I'll be honest, lad, you're way too young, given the fact that I don't think you've had even seen your first bit of hair on your lip.
Sir, I've actually been cursed. This is not my actual body, I can assure you. I am well over the age of 700, granted, still quite young, but I've seen my fair share of battle.
Huh.
But I was told that the beast has a lair nearby.
He's gonna sense motive you real quick to see if you're telling the truth.
I mean, I am.
Kind of looks at you and goes, kind of nods and goes, okay. He kind of nods with appreciation and goes, well, if you're here to slay it, then my recommendation is to head out there in this weather. It can't fly in this crap, at least not that I've seen it. Otherwise, it would have come over here already. It's about a half a day's march eastward. On the edge of the town, there's a lake, town. The two other huts that are set up on the other farm field. There's a large lake where we're getting our water from right now that doesn't seem to have any silver in it. It's where most of the starting crops are being kind of set up. Wouldn't recommend going over there, but I mean, if you're willing in this storm, then that's the best option you've got. What I've seen, the creature as it chased me out of the woods earlier this morning, during when the storm started hitting, it couldn't seem to fly after me. It seemed to land and rush back through the forest. So,
We've been getting fragmented reports of it. What exactly does it look like?
well, it's large, white feathers, breathes out this strange bluish fire that freezes anything it touches. There's red beady eyes, long mouth that seems to make a horrendous noise that it's very unique. I've never heard a dragon make a sound like it. I assume it's I reported it to Mayor Dan, and he said it's probably another unique variant from the Underdark. So, from my understanding, it's a dragon that's not been seen ever before in the continent of Krikek. I know it had webbed feet and foot. I know that was the strange thing. It was, for being white feathered, it had weird black legs that just didn't look right to me. But again, I don't know I've only fought a few dragons in my times, and to be honest, those few times were mostly us running away.
Well, I guess we better get him. Actually, question: do you happen to? I know, we are all of a larger size, but do you happen to have anything that might help our friend Eider here traverse through the snow without falling through? Some kind of snowshoes for maybe old, baby shoes for the snow.
You see a light chuckle at that. It kind of looks at Eider up and down and goes, don't got anything like a snowshoe, but I got a sled that my kids used to tow around the pups on. Should work for you. You're about the same size as a young direwolf.
How much would that put us back?
If you kill that goose, keep it.
Thank you for your hospitality and kindness, sir.
You're the ones going out into that storm to kill that damn thing. I'll be honest. I think that's more brave than anything else these villagers will put up with these days. You manage it, and ain't no kindness being done by my end. Oh, I will warn you, if you're coming back to the town, no one's gonna be in the houses. He kind of nudges his head towards the tunnel shaft over to the side with the slab door on it, and goes, most of the town sleeps under the ground. A lot of us underneath the farming field itself makes it easier to set up the field and dig it and till it from underneath. You're not gonna see many of us up above ground, so if you get chased out by that creature, don't expect any help.
Understandable. Thank you.
He nods.
All right, crew. We've got our direction. Let's head out. Let's make sure we grab Ned before we go, though. We don't want to leave him in the airship.
Yeah, as
Are we taking the cart and the wolf or going on foot?
I'd say let's go on foot. I don't know what lies ahead, and having to deal with animals in this blizzard might not be the best idea.
More importantly, if we get that cart stuck, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say,
That's just where that
Dom,
cart lives from now on.
do you have knowledge local by chance?
I don't believe I do, sadly.
Okay.
Unless you would count my backstory as giving me it, but no.
No,
I didn't get it as like a
I was
class or anything.
Okay, making sure. All right. No, as you look out. The storm looks to be very heavy overhead. The clouds still dark. The thick ice that's kind of coming in down as a mixture seems to kind of pelt against the stones, slightly pinging every once in a while as it hits like something metal outside. But you watch as the two, what you assume to be druids, kind of toss a couple last few pieces of wood into the fire pit and turn and head towards the tunnel as they head down below, leaving you basically sitting in this building alone.
All right, we've got a strained feathered worm to kill, it appears.
So who's pulling the cart with Eider?
I'll pull
I
it.
was just about to type, who can actually pull Eider's weight with his armor? 'Cause
Well,
Donald for sure can.
how heavy is Eider?
He's got adamantine plate, so...
Well, the plate itself, strangely enough, doesn't weigh more just for being adamantine.
Yeah, I can't
Oh,
imagine
yeah.
it weigh more than like 15, 20 pounds. Well,
Oh, no,
maybe like
D&D
30,
doesn't.
40.
D&D doesn't operate off of like the sane idea of like what full plate actually was. D&D plate weighs 50 pounds.
No fucking
D&D
way.
plate.
Really?
Now-
Okay.
I will say, this is now I have a ruling on this, and I made this clear before. Custom-made items do go by our own actual legitimate how it would weigh, because the difference in crafting. The D&D stuff is considered what an average craftsman could make. So this is considered like a item that is quantity over quality is what usually
Well,
you get.
because his is masterwork, right?
Yeah,
That's
his adamantine. Yeah, but still, it's not made by. I'm not talking. This is a custom made item. This was in a sense, this was a suit of armor that the party picked up in a barracks. So
Yeah.
kind of keep that in mind. This is this is a traditional thing. This isn't like he's got some custom piece here. So yeah, this would be normal. That's why it would weigh the same as normal plate. But yeah, with all your equipment, everything, I'd assume you're like what 500 pounds.
300-ish. Because like the average for like a dwarf, like I'm heavy. Well, I'm not that heavy for a dwarf. I'm at 202 for 5.
202.
foot. Yeah, and then armor's 50. Shield is another 10, and then I guess miscellaneous bullshit probably is like around 25, 30 pounds probably.
So yeah, I'd say a good even 300 pounds is probably roughly about what we're looking at for reference.
Oh, right. Oh, I don't even have my carrying capacity set up.
How much?
You're
Uh,
large. So it's
I know.
double.
Looking...
So I know I'm large. I have a strength of 17.
Yeah, you're fine.
I was say I'm almost 100% sure at 17 you should be fine. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. As you kind of grab the little straps that are set for what looks to be a sled dog of sorts, kind of pulling them onto your chest a little bit, you start pulling either on the cart or on the sled as you head out into the snow. As you kind of head out to the ship, you see as Ned's kind of standing up there with Sen right behind him as Sen kind of ties what looks to be a small rope ladder off the side of the ship and kind of lets it loose, letting Ned climb down without issue. Ned, for your own reference, to catch you up, the party has decided to go to the bottom of the mountain from the city, and is at in the farmland looking to go do the dire situation, the feathered wormling. And there's a heavy blizzard all around. You guys are in what looks to be that farm country, the little farm village.
Well, hi there, y'all. Did you figure out what you were looking for?
Hey, yep, we're going this way, Ned. Hootie might not want to come with, maybe.
Hootie is not on Ned's Ned's shoulder or anywhere about Ned. As you say that, though, you do hear the sound of Hootie hooting from within, or kind of echoing from up above and within the ship.
I just flashed Ned a thumbs up, having heard the safe calls of Hootie.
Mm-hmm. And it is it's double.
Yep.
Like my carry weight, right? Is
Correct.
because it's 17 times 2 is okay. Cool.
Yeah, as you kind of all gather again, Ned, the snow is thick. The heavy snowstorm coming down and the dark black clouds above is making it miserably cold, as it's about minus 60 degrees outside right now.
Ryder's just chilling back on the sled, relaxing, having a fucking great time.
My
I think Dununder's the tallest, so I think he's having maybe the easiest time walking through the snow because it doesn't go that high up to his legs. And he's probably, I think, the lightest out of all the giants.
Yeah, but you are also getting smacked in the face by the snow. And feeling a lot more of the wind.
my mouse
I would
has
imagine it's
icicles.
part of the
Actually,
Yeah.
wait,
part
hold
of the
on.
cold weather clothes that Dununder would have some kind of face covering.
How
that he can,
heavy?
like, pull up. Like,
How heavy is Dom? Because you're 16 feet tall, right?
yeah,
So what's your weight?
16'9". I believe
Like
this is on the
4K.
lower end for giants. If I'm wrong, I can.
They're also
I'm trying to adjust it.
They're slightly emaciated because they have a negative strength.
Dom is
Poor
quite
Dom.
thin for a frost giant, yeah.
I know I didn't really
giant
put an
giant.
accurate. I know I didn't really put an accurate weight because I didn't know how to weigh myself as a 9 foot tall fire giant person. So I don't really have. I just put 500. I know that's probably not accurate.
No, you'd be very
Oh,
emaciated at your height.
You would be
Mhm.
like Bones.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Bones.
as you look kind of now with the snowstorm kind of heading overhead, you guys kind of start plowing your way through the farm fields. The thick snow underneath your feet as you crush through it, walking over, kind of only feeling your feet sink a couple inches into the snow before you hit the thicker ice. You lot continue heading through as about a half a day's march of cold and miserable walking continues through before you finally reach what looks to be the edge of the farming village and what looks to be a kind of thinly forested and area where you can now see roughly about 150 feet in front of you looks to be this large lake that, as you kind of get a look at it, you'd guesstimate is somewhere around 150 feet wide and at least 90 feet long. This thing is huge as you see small little, what looks to be something sticking off the tops of the water at the distance. But as the heavy snow continues to pile on, it's really hard to see. Although I will mention, the frozen lake, you can clearly see the ice and such. There's no snow seemingly like sticking to the frozen lake or anything around it. It seems to only stick to the shore. What is going on in the chat? What the
Don't worry, just a discussion about carrying capacity. There's nothing to see here.
Oh, okay.
Just a very logistical conversation that's important to what we're doing. Anyway.
Yeah, as you see the light of the couple of trees kind of sticking out of the ground, most of them look to be like Douglas firs, kind of very tall, standing roughly on average around 15. Well, I say very tall, normally tall, standing on average about 15 feet in height. They seem to be quite wide in the center, but their branches seem to be quite thin and numerous with little pine needles on them. As you lot can kind of look about, there doesn't seem to be for a moment anything moving amongst the lake that's still ahead or amongst the trees. You can give me some search checks to see if you see anything specific.
Yeah, I definitely want to see if I can find any nests or potential locations in which a shelter might be. Let's see. Search,
I will
search,
also,
search.
if you don't feel confident in search, I will take listen as well.
I
Yeah,
would like to
19.
do a listen. 16 for a listen.
Okay. Jesus, Sen.
Good God.
Sen in the background, that's his stealth. Yeah, don't worry about it.
I mean, you know what? I mean, to be honest, I act surprised, but usually most of the characters that get
I
brought in are
have-
pretty powerful.
My only thing is I have a lot of dex because of what I built.
He's also slightly higher
And
level.
I went and grabbed items to boost my stealth and stuff.
But yeah, let's see what you got. To be fair, there's a -2 penalty for a square. So yeah. Go. So I got 16 for a listen check. Anybody else giving me search checks, or is that it?
I got a 19 search.
19 for either.
Just search or also.
I'll take search or
you
listen.
said?
Search
Let
or
me
listen.
see which one.
Yeah.
I'll do listen.
Okay.
25
Stop
listen.
rolling out of the
Damn, Ned.
That is one with
I don't know
nature.
about these
He's
stats.
finally out of these fucking
Yeah,
cities.
right.
He's one with the snow.
Yeah, now that you guys are out in the wilds, Ned is slowly going to show you his true power. He's actually been a god this entire time that
16.
goes weak when he's in the cities.
Yeah, right.
You know?
So actually, my question
Weak
is.
and oblivious.
Go ahead, Maya.
What's up?
All right. What is the difference between search and spot?
Search
Spot.
is active.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, that's how I kind of run. Spot is like, hey, we're just kind of walking down the road. I'm just kind of making sure nothing's going to be following us or popping up. You're kind of looking for anything that'll catch your attention at that point is my idea. Search is you have something you're looking for very specifically.
Spot is perception, search is investigation.
Yeah, it is a good way of putting it. Yeah. That is the best way probably to put it.
I mean, I guess so. Because investigation, yeah.
And Dom, what'd you get?
Oh, I got 16.
16 for listen or search.
Listen.
Okay. All right. So with the two 16s, Kez and Dom, you hear, you rather see what looks to be these clear like corpses that seem to be almost covering up slightly by the snow at this point. What looks to be large creatures with white, thick scales, and what looks to be small spikes sticking out of them. From this distance, it's hard to tell their size. You'd guess maybe small to medium-ish in size for the body. But you count 3, maybe 4 of these creatures all on the bank of this lake, just looking to be completely dead. Something that catches your eye, though, from this distance is the way the creatures looks to have met their doom, just given the outer wound from what you can see from this distance. Kez, specifically, with your understanding of kind of battle damage and having been a battle medic and mercenary medic now and seeing proper battles happening and what happens to soldiers and what could happen to creatures, the wound doesn't look right from what you'd guesstimate a dragon to bite. Like, something catches your attention about how it looks to be more of a thinner and looking like almost like a slice, like if a sword just stuck straight through to it. As you kind of see that with a listen check from Eider at 16? 19.
No, I was search check at 19.
19, that's right, thank you. Search check at 19, as you kind of look about, one of the things that catches your attention is there seems to be something in the center of the lake that's almost kind of blocked from view perfectly, as you just get a slight skew vision of some greenish something towards the bottom or towards the surface of in the center of the lake. But due to the strange like ice objects though from this distance and due to the heavy snow, it's too hard to tell what it is, but it looks like there's a thick piling of something green at the center that kind of catches your attention. And then Ned, with your listen, Ned, I'm gonna PM you something because and you can choose on what you want to say on this.
Oh boy.
The trees whisper for your doom.
Oh no.
Hyonk?
Can I also knowledge nature?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. That's a 19.
It's what you think it is.
Hyonk.
I hear some honking noises from the distance, y'all.
Perhaps it's just a traveling goose. We're here to find a feathered wormling. It's probably just a migration. Right? Couldn't possibly a goose of gargantuan proportion.
I'm pretty certain that it is exactly that.
What? All right then. How far is it away then? What do you think? What do you got? Have you zeroed in on it?
Do I know just how far away it is?
Roughly, given the circumstances.
Given the sound, it sounds like it's. I mean, the storm's very thick. You'd guess you probably wouldn't be. It'd be hard to tell roughly where this creature was, even if the weather wasn't so or the wind wasn't so loud. You'd roughly guess it could be anywhere within about 300 feet to your left. Is from what you can tell. It's too hard to get an exact location.
So somewhere to the left within 300 feet. I'll point towards my left. Somewhere that way, but I can't quite tell exactly where.
I hate to do this, but I think we need to get closer to the center. I see something odd and green. I'm worried it's a magic ritual of some kind. Which out in the middle of nowhere never is a good thing.
Necromancy goods. My God, my nemesis.
Are there any? Do I
It's
see
the
any
worst
like
of
goose
both
tracks
worlds.
or anything?
As you look about the area, kind of looking in the snow, there looks to be some large, what looks imprints, but due to the fact that the snow is filling so quickly, it's too hard to tell if that's just a bump in the snow from something else, or if there is, or what the creature could have been due to the thickness. Just for reference, earlier, it only took a few minutes before Dom's brand new snow angel would fill in almost completely. So.
Onwards away!
All right, we're going forward towards the lake, I assume, if no one's going to say anything else.
I want to go towards the bodies.
Okay, off to the side of the lake. All right.
Yeah, can I help Kez investigate the bodies or go over with Kez? Because I'm
Yeah.
also concerned about that.
Yeah.
I apparently am going to.
Okay, so either as Kez kind of turns and starts walking to the towards the right side of the lake and heads into that direction, Domnander seems to kind of follow. Either, of course, being dragged along doesn't really get a choice in the matter. Ned, as you watch this, your party head off to the right. Where are you going to follow after, or are you going to do something else?
Yeah, when he realizes that they've all walked away, he very quickly scurries back towards them.
Okay.
Ned, do you have your spear?
Yeah.
Just flash my
I
thumbs
start
up.
like feeling around on my back.
Ned, you do have the spear, from earlier. Also, Eider, do you want to let Ned know what the item was that you gave him earlier?
It's a long spear. You put the pointy end into the goose.
No, I meant the 2 sticks. Not the long. I get to. God damn it.
The 2 sticks was the fucking
Oh,
long
okay.
spear.
Okay, I
Those are the
misunderstood.
Yeah, one went to Kez and one went to Ned.
Oh, okay. Fully not what I thought you were giving. My DM misunderstanding. Yeah. Okay. So yes, you do have a long, 2 long spears on you. Ned.
No, Kez has one, Ned has the other.
Well, you handed a bolt to Ned, so Ned is currently carrying both of them. He just has both of them on his back.
No, I handed one to Kez and one to Ned.
Oh,
I
did
didn't
you?
hear that.
I didn't hear that either. I heard you say you handed both to Ned. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I heard you
Ned
gave me
started-
Ned.
So Ned's.
How dare you take your donation from me?
He walked away, grabbed 2, so he went, oh, and he walked away and he handed 1 to each.
Yeah, I heard give him both to Ned. So that's you
That
know.
would be the worst idea.
Hell, even I heard that.
Yeah, but as you kind of turn to this to the right and head after Ned, only a few moments later, kind of seeing this, kind of handing Kez one of these spears off his back, you look kind of head over towards where the bodies are as you go to investigate. Yes, Kez, go ahead.
So wait, what are these spears that I was just given, or is it just a spear?
It's just a large spear. It's literally a spear large.
It's a long spear specifically.
Oh, is it long? Oh, the long spear. Okay, I was wondering about that because there's 3 spear types.
Yeah, long spears specifically have reach. Reach in 3.5 works, significantly different than 5e, which we might get to if we get to it. But basically, if something leaves your threatened square, any of your threatened squares, then it provokes. That includes it coming towards you.
What about my no square?
Oh, depends
The
on how
most
threatened your
important.
square is.
This definitely seems like a weapon I might want to use, but I'm going to be using my God's chosen weapon, this warhammer that I have.
You can use both. You can change them out when you need to. That's all. That's my only point. You're not forsaking one entirely. I'm just saying we're hunting a feathered goose. It might be helpful.
Oh, righty then. Add to the sheet. All right, so
it does give you 15 foot of reach technically.
That is pretty fire though. So let's see here. So okay, the bodies.
Yeah, as you walk over towards them, as you get closer, you start to realize these are scaled bodies. It doesn't take much to realize these are definitely dragons of some sort. With white scales and the size of them, you'd guesstimate probably a wormling, roughly, as you kind of take a look closer towards them. Looking at the wounds, something kind of catches your attention. The edges of the wounds, I will say with the earlier search check, are dull. There's no... thinning of the blade, as it looks like something was like a sword was shoved in. You kind of expect it to be the outer edges of the cut to be almost kind of thinned due to how blades thin at the edges. This does not look to be the case.
Does there look to be like puncture wounds? Because I mean,
give me a heal check to see if you can figure out exactly what these creatures died from.
Yeah, because I mean, if we're talking about like the goose, I think geese have like the sharpened bits on their teeth. Natural 20 for a 31.
Damn. Yeah, as you kind of take a look, kind of getting down on your knees and really looking down into this, you pull apart the body a little bit and notice...
Straight up forensic shit right here.
Kind of looking towards the edges of it.
Sectioning off the crime scene right now.
What you realize that these creatures look to kind of have what looks to be have died as you look towards their heads, kind of unburying them. It looks like their heads had been frozen solid in solid chunks of ice, making it so they couldn't breathe. And whatever the creature that was eating at them seemed to have some sort of very solid, blunt-like facial object to basically, as it seemed to shove this object into the creature like a blade, and basically tear at the insides and nibble on the insides. As you kind of look on the inside of the creature, you notice much of the outer muscle seems to be there, but the organs of the creatures all seem to be missing.
Odd. I'll relay this information to the others, kind of like speaking out loud as I'm coming across these things.
I just kind of like take it in passively, as I have no ranks in heal and no way to really rationalize this information beyond it being curiosity.
Does it sound like exactly what I think it sounds like?
Whatever creature did this, yeah, they've got they're freezing fucking heads. So definitely, you two looking at, Ned, and we gotta be careful. This is some ice magic, and we ain't gonna be good against this. Or at least we're gonna be a lot more vulnerable.
Fire might actually damages more than we expected.
Told you.
Perhaps. Although I haven't seen a lot of things in my time that, I mean, it very well might. Well, so we ready to make... Oh, it's because of what you said. It was 3 bodies, and they're all, like dragons?
They look to be all white-scaled dragons, yeah. I will also mention now from this angle, now that you can kind of see off to the side, either as you kind of get a better look at the center of the lake, what you see is where that green blob what you thought was just a blob of something green there, looks to be a thick grass-like material, and you see 3 large white eggs with a couple of different, one with brown spots, one with golden spots, and one with silver spots.
Interesting.
No.
So actually, just really quickly,
What?
Since dragons are still kind of like one of the like sentient races. I am still going to go through with their end of life ceremony, silver coins on the eyes, and praying in their souls.
Yes, as Kez turns to do this, yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I was all good. I was just like point at the nest and go, Ned, that might be an issue.
I would like to not get any closer to the nest, but kind of look at it a little closer.
Okay, give me a search check, and then Kez, give me a perform check for your for giving them their last right.
Oh, I rolled a 6.
Ooh, nice, a 6. This is gonna be good.
Perform. Oh, I don't have we don't get perform for clerics.
That's fair. Then give me a charisma roll for. Let's do a knowledge religion. We'll just go with that. It'll make it easy.
I didn't know we had to roll for ceremonies. 17 nonetheless.
17. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. All right. As you begin to perform your ritual, Ned, as you kind of blink a few times looking over, as Kez begins to kind of read off a little bit of scripture from his god, or from his goddess for a moment, kind of reading to the dragons, it kind of catches your attention as you see the silver coins being put on the eyes, kind of distracting you as you see the money and kind of looking at your donation bucket being kind of light right now, as you try to focus back on the eggs. They look to be large eggs. The nest itself looks to be kind of thick with grass, kind of completely almost encapsulating the eggs except for the upper half of them. Yeah. Is there something specific you're trying to get? I mean, you did roll terribly, but is there anything specific you're trying to?
I was just trying to figure out if the eggs had to do with the honking that I heard.
Are these massive goose eggs?
They're giant eggs. You hear honking as you look over based on what Kez was talking about with how these creatures died. It sounds like something with a blunt face. That sounds like a goose. You start putting pieces together. Those could be the eggs, but whenever you know for sure that whatever the creature is that probably keeps those eggs is probably what killed these dragons.
Also, quite weird that there's dragons in giant lands. That's also kind of weird.
It isn't Giant Land, though, because it used to be Kobold Land, didn't it?
Nope. You're still in the Giant Lands. The Giant Lands proper.
Yeah, you'd have to go. Yeah.
That is just a thing in the world. Like, there are just random dragon clans in random nations.
Alright, that's fair. Shut up!
Mayor Dan has been yelled at in the background. Alright, as you look about, the snow is still coming down heavily. Your footprints in the snow behind you have almost all but disappeared at this point. The light and occasional sound of honking can be heard throughout the hefty winds every once in a while. But so far, you seem unbothered.
Alright, also not towards you, Chess, and towards Mr. Mayor Dan, that bastard. So we ready to call this thing down?
Oh,
you guys ready to fight it?
Yeah.
Should we have whoever has fire stuff, prep fire stuff? Looking at my inventory right now.
Oh, Alchemist Fire will burn no matter what the weather is. It'll burn underwater for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
There's some nice... Good. I'd say, if you guys want, I can position myself over the lake. Despite being a fire giant, my storm giant heritage does help me if I do end up underwater.
Can, Dumbledore use an action to coat his, hands and knuckles in the contact poison I have, or would that also... No, that would knock me out, wouldn't it?
We're not in initiative yet, but yeah, you're welcome to if you'd like to, if it soaks through, though.
As I say, I have gloves, but I don't know if the material would matter.
Contact knockout, please.
I was like, all right, guys.
As I was saying multitasking between tabs right now. Leave me alone. I'm writing notes. Okay, I don't do that. I'm not that stupid. I will simply. Is there like an actual? Hang on. Is there actual 3.5 action if I like prepare myself for an attack?
Yeah, you can prepare an
Oh,
action.
there.
Yeah, that's normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. As you kind of start looking at your poison, you're just gonna kind of ready it, I assume.
Also, it's not contact. The poison that you were given by Essa is injury poison.
Oh, it is injury poison.
It's injury.
Right.
Yeah. You need to put it on a weapon or something.
Do
Specifically
my
when it does
fists count
piercing.
as weapons if I punch hard enough, or does it have to be piercing?
It has to be piercing or slashing. Well, slashing can it can count.
Yeah, that's what I was. Sorry, I was trying
Why
to get
did
to the
you give
slashing
me
part too.
Yeah, no worries, you're good. Well, Dom kind of looks at their
Okay.
poison for a moment, kind of contemplating. The rest of you kind of taking a second and looking about. As you look, waiting for the sign. Ned, right beside you, you feel a cold, wet face kind of just plop against your cheek. And you hear the sound, yonk, as it quietly whispers into the side of your face. You have yet to see or hear any movement around you.
Nonetheless, my plan is to slam my hammer against my shield and activate the lightning on it.
I was gonna go piss
Just-
off the nest because I'm the tanky one here.
And then so now I
So
kind
let's
of wanna
roll
have a little
initiative.
flavor. Yeah, essentially, yeah. Purple lightning coming from Kez's eyes, lightning enveloping his weapon.
I rolled an 8.
Yonk.
Oh
Yonk.
no!
Oh, good
I-
Oh,
heavens.
Ned, we need you most.
17.
17.
Where's my initiative? It's been a while. Okay.
I got a 5. See y'all.
5. Okay.
Guys,
See y'all.
not going well.
No.
I got an 11.
Can I take Sen's initiative real fast?
Oh, this is Ooh. Okay. So. Yeah, Sen.
Sen move fast. Can't have Sen's initiative.
Yes. Damn. All right. As Dom goes about coating and looking at their hands in contemplation on whether to coat their hands in contact poison. All right, as you begin
Injury.
hearing this honk right beside your face, as this creature seems to almost smack its face slightly up against yours, you feel the wet feathers as its black eyes just kind of stare into your soul for a moment, and the creature looks at you, not even hiding its face. This creature is as large as you are, Ed, standing a total of 23 feet tall. And about 15 feet long. As it kind of smacks its head against you, it is going to immediately make an attack as it does so. Give me a minute. Let's see if this thing hits. For 13, Ned, as you feel this creature
Is
slam
it
its weight
against
into
AC?
you. Yeah, it's against your AC.
No hit.
As the creature goes to kind of like slam its weight into you, as it does this, you seem to kind of hold yourself solid. The creature kind of, you hear the goose kind of just honk slightly and then begins to hiss, and it's going to, looking over at Kez, Dom, and Eider off to the side, is going to unleash its breath weapon.
Yeah, saw that one coming.
I need a reflex save from all three of you.
Oh boy, give me one quick second.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm marking stuff off my sheet.
I imagine it's not moving, it's just turning.
Yes, it's just turning its head slightly. So you're not getting hit by it, Ned, thankfully.
If this is like real geese, someone just has to grab it really aggressively by the neck.
Oh yeah, that'll be a 19.
That fails.
Yeah, I mean, I only have a +2 to my reflex saves.
That would be a Oh, I think I only got a 15. So I did not roll well.
That also fails.
Yep. We're probably gonna go down.
All right,
It's ice.
Eider.
Oh shit! I muted
No,
myself.
you're good.
I got a 5.
5. Okay. Wow.
I believe we. How much extra damage
your
we take from
armor
cold
take
damage?
ice?
Oh,
you got.
50%.
Don't worry about it.
What did
uh,
you say, Justin? 50%.
50%. So if you take 10, for example, you take 15 if you're weak to cold.
so for those who are weak to cold, you do take in this case 9 points of cold damage. For those who are not, that is 6 points of cold damage as you watch this icy wind kind of blow out, feeling the frost hit you. Your hair immediately, what wasn't frozen, freezing over. Your skin drying up, and the cold clothing that you are wearing starts to seem to feel like it's growing solid and starting to crack. That ends the creature's turn. 9 if you are, if you're weak to cold. Yeah.
Okay.
Eider take 0 damage.
Alright, as that ends its turn, Kez, you are up. The creature just kind of turns, breathes this cold, frosty breath on you, and it doesn't take long to realize how these dragons went down.
Yeah. Figures. How far away am I from this creature?
It is theoretically about 5 feet from you, as you lot should have been. Assume we're all kind of grouped up. It is literally just standing behind Ned, using Ned as full cover from you.
Excellent. All right.
Which, yes, does mean if you get to the side of it, you will be flanking because of Ned.
So I have to move to flank, or
You can also stab
Yeah.
it from 15 feet because of your new spear.
Oh, yeah, never mind. You can stab it with the spear. Yeah, if you're stabbing it with the spear, and if you have 10 feet range, you would be technically, you could hit it with flanking. Yeah. Which I believe, Kez, you should have 10 feet of range.
Yeah, because large.
Yeah.
And tall.
'Cause you're large.
I think what large actually doesn't get gets only an extra 5 feet if it's above you, not horizontally from you.
No,
Remember
it's
seeing
if
that.
you're a tall creature versus a long creature. Most
Yeah.
long creatures don't get the extra reach, like a horse, for example. But if you're a tall creature, like say a giant, because your arms are the actual long part of you.
Yes, you have a longer
Okay.
reach. Yeah, so you'd be
All
10
right.
feet right through reach.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
And what, as part of your attack, you can also move 5 feet, right?
5 feet forward, yes.
Yeah, you can 5-foot step as a free action.
Yep. So I'll use one of the for my attack with the 5-foot free action to maneuver my way around it, so that I can flank it.
All right. Yeah, as you step forward, doing so, the creature seems to kind of continue eye you up as it does, hissing at you, but it does not seem to make a move. Of course, as you step forth.
Right. And so I would like to finish that with do an attack.
Damn it.
All right. That would be a 17 to hit.
17 hits.
All right. So
Hell yeah.
let's see. It's a D10 plus a D6.
Wait, what is the D10?
For my warhammer.
I thought you were using the spear, otherwise you wouldn't have reach. Right?
No.
No, that's why he stepped forward. Yeah, he moved
Oh,
forward
got
5 feet. Yeah. That's why he did it, so he could hit the thing with the thing. Yeah, go ahead and roll. Let's see what you got.
Also, you're a large
Or-
creature. Your
well, for
warhammer should
damage.
be 2d8.
It's because it's a special item that it's a D10.
Mm.
Okay.
It is my venomous skullcracker.
Yeah, you got a custom item. All right. Let's see what you got for damage.
Right. So that would be 9 regular bludgeoning damage. Oh, sorry, 10 regular bludgeoning damage because of the +1, and then there is a 4 lightning damage.
Oh no.
And I also need a fortitude saving throw, DC 12.
I don't like that, but I'm not. Oh, if I could type roll right. As you smack this creature, let's see. That's a 24.
Yeah, it looks like they got it.
Okay. As you go to swing at the creature for the first attack, slamming into it with your mace, you watch as the creature hissing kind of gets slagged with the hammer. The head kind of bouncing off to the side as the creature kind of turns back to look at you. You watch as the shock of the creature kind of hitting it causes it to, for a moment, almost seem like kind of stare at you in paralysis, not kind of moving with it as if a deer in the headlights. The shock kind of reverberating through its body once more and kind of stares at you for a moment, now getting its full attention, Kesnut.
Alright, and since I'm not using my movement,
Yep.
I will smack it again with its full attention.
Alright.
Right, let's see here. That is a 24.
That hits.
5 bludgeoning, 3 lightning, and since it saves on that first check, it doesn't have to because it's immune to its effects for 24 hours.
Okay.
For succeeding. As
you come back around with a second swing, slamming into the creature once more, you watch as the head kind of swings to the side like one of them punching bags. Kind of coming back up at you. It just seems to hiss as its head looks kind of wobbly. Kind of every once in a while seems to slightly jitter as its body almost seems to have its nerves seemingly shocked to move as its body spasms slightly, staring at you directly. It hisses even louder, beginning to honk at you as it can. Alright. That ends your turn, Kez?
That is all for me.
Alright, Dom, you are up.
Yes. Sorry, I'm looking for something right now, currently. Right. Okay. So, I assume I'm also 5 feet away, or however far Kez was from the creature.
Yeah.
Then I will,
Well, 10 feet, but you'd have to take
up.
a 5-foot step, yeah?
Yeah, 5-foot step forward. Am I also included in flanking, or no, because of how they're positioned?
No, if you're going to keep flanking maneuver, you can easily adjust it yourself, or kind of move yourself to the left of Ned, managing to get to the side of it. You'd be able to stab at it from what you can tell. You'd still be flanking. So.
Okay, then yeah, I'll move to wherever I would have to be able to flank.
Yeah, getting off to
Ned's
Ned's
left.
left.
That's not an advantage. It's a plus, right?
Yep, +2.
Like, yeah, 2. Yep. Okay. So the +2, and then I'm going to debating on a ability or not. I'm going to just attack as it. Well, I get a free thing on my turn to designate during my action designate dodge, so I receive a +1 dodge bonus to my armor.
Okay.
So I'm just doing that.
Okay.
Oh. Wait. Sorry, I just remembered I got. Okay, never mind. Did not apply. I'm just going to. Sorry, I remembered I had evasion, and then remembered in this version failing the save doesn't do anything, and I failed the save, so.
No worries. Yeah, you're good.
Going to attack it. The party would note Don Under had in the preparation still poured the poison onto the only part of his fingers that aren't covered by his gloves, which are the very end of his nails, and I will be slashing with those with the poison on, the knockout poison. So if these hit, it'll probably say save, but it'll have to roll, and there's always a chance it can roll in that one and fuck up.
Yeah.
So this is a 17 to hit.
17. Let me see. Yes, that hits.
All right. I'll roll my damage, which won't be a lot, because it's just the one attack, but it does need to make. I believe it is a. It doesn't. I wasn't told what's. Yeah, fortitude save. I wasn't told what save, but I knew
if it's poison, it's always fortitude.
Yeah, there's a primary save and a secondary save. It's noted.
Yeah, there's
in, my description for it.
A secondary save is like a minute later.
It's for the continued effect. Okay, so that was a 25 for the succeed. Or I hope succeed.
Yeah, that does
Okay.
succeed. And then I deal, I don't get, just, I don't get an attack bonus, right? Or damage bonus, I mean, at this level, I don't believe.
You never get a damage bonus that isn't your stat bonus. Or dealing with your
Okay.
weapon.
Yeah, with since this is unarmed, the only thing you get is your strength modifier
Yep.
as your bonus
Which,
damage.
because
So,
it's
if I
negative, I
remember
don't
correctly.
add anything.
Yep.
Yeah, we discussed. Okay. I forgot how bad I fucked myself up when I first made Dom. Then just 4.
4 points?
For that.
Yeah, as you slash at the
Yeah,
creature, kind of getting to the side of it, slashing out with your hands, your claws tearing into the dire goose. It seems to not really pay attention to you as it roars over at, or continues to hiss at Kezanok.
Mm-hmm. All good.
You haven't moved. You
Stu,
still
just
got another
double-checking that
action.
there wasn't anything else. No. Do I? I
Yeah.
did move. I thought.
You took your 5-foot step. That would have been so that would have been part of your attacking action.
Oh, cool. Then
Yeah.
I do have another thing that I would like to do, and I would, because I've done the poisons not work, we'll just use my regular fist. I'm going to EMU because I'm required. I don't think I've done this yet, so I'm using a special ability I've not used before that I must announce to the DM, but I want to dramatically announce to the party. So I'm letting you know I'm using it. Don't sue me.
Okay, let's see what you said.
Legal papers in the mail.
There you
Right.
are. So as Dominander is winding up his fist now, I will say Dominander is pretty badly injured from the cold, because I was also injured from Dan previously. He winds up his fist, and there's a bit of a golden, like, flash from his eyes, and the claws on his hand and the hand underneath the glove and other parts of him under the glove seem to have this bit of this, like, smoky, almost metallic glow of something the party would not have seen before, and I'm going to hope I hit this fucking attack. Gonna be honest. Oh, that was almost a nat 20. Okay, so I get like a 24.
24 to hit. That hits. All right, let me roll my fortitude save.
Let me actually figure out what my DC for this is, because I've not had to before. So
your character level is 2, so that's 1. So plus your wisdom modifier, so it's 11 plus whatever your wisdom modifier is currently.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm rolling max damage though for my attacks. This is pretty nice.
Also, the fortitude save was a 15.
Shoot. I believe that my save is a 14.
So your wisdom's a plus 2? Yeah?
No, my wisdom's plus
3?
3.
Okay,
yeah.
so yeah, that'd be 14. Yep,
11
you're correct.
plus 3, 14. Yeah.
Yep.
So it just barely succeeds, which sucks for me. So it doesn't seem to do anything, and then I've used that once. But I did do 8 damage, so I did do.
Yeah,
max
as
damage
you
on
watch
my
as
fist,
the
so it was a pretty
smoke
hefty punch.
kind of erupts around from the punch, expanding and kind of causing the creature, the goose here, to start coughing. Almost immediately, the hissing caught off. The creature seems to be almost for a moment suffocating as it kind of after the hit, kind of coughing out the last bits of the smoke as it seems to still stare and hiss over at Kezanok. All right. As you finish up your turn, Dom, Ned, you're up.
All right. Let's see. I know what I want to do. I just got to get there real quick. So, first things first. Ned would wave the quarterstaff that was given to him by the anvil, and you guys would kind of see it glow. I will cast Shillelagh.
As it starts to grow once more, growing thicker and with a nice heavy knot at the very end of it. Yep.
And I'm gonna swing that bitch.
All right, as you turn and swing like a baseball player, going for a home run onto the goose. Go ahead and roll an attack.
Flank him, John.
You do have a +2 on top of that. Yep.
I never know how to spell shillelagh for my notes.
It's not 18. A con. 18. That hits. Go ahead and roll your damage.
All right. It deals damage as if it were 2 size categories larger.
Which is already large, so that's huge. Gargantuan? What's a gargantuan quarterstaff?
Not as much as you'd think.
I know, but I'm still curious now. I'd assume... Oh, here it is. Gargantuan is 3d6. Yeah.
Okay, 3d6.
Mm. It's not bad at all. It's still pretty good. Oh, well...
Wow.
As you swing, Ned is not the individual who grew up chopping wood. He wasn't the individual who grew up tearing up and doing hard labor. His hands are a little tired. The snow being kind of cold. His grip's not all there. As he goes to swing, and the quarterstaff lightly, loosenly kind of comes out of his hands, giving more of a lighter hit as you hit the back of the goose's head. It kind of turns towards you and starts hissing at you. You haven't moved. You did, but you did use Shillelagh. Never mind.
Yep.
As you look on at the creature, it kind of hisses at you, but then focuses back towards Kesnanok, as it seems to just give him a death glare. Eider, you're up.
Yeah, go ahead and take your attack of opportunity.
Oh, are you gonna... Oh, no.
I gotta walk up to it.
Alright.
Walk up to it.
That's true. Luckily for you, I don't have anything amazing to use for this. Alright, let's see what we got. For its thing... One sec, I'm pulling my thing. Oh, okay. I rolled a nat 1. Oh no.
Yo! Again!
No.
Again!
Okay.
Aww.
As the creature goes to bite at you, you manage to kind of watch as the goose expecting you to be kind of the squishiest and weakest of the lot, being the smallest, seems to bite onto the adamantine. And as you hear the satisfying clack of the teeth kind of tearing onto it, some pieces seem to kind of crack off as the goose pulls away and the teeth fall onto into the snow. The creature kind of honks at you and pulls its head back a little bit as it stares at you.
Creature goes full what the fuck?
It looks at it's just kind of staring at you as if you're kind of like a hard turtle, as if this is the first experience it's had.
Nope. I don't have anything too fancy to do because I'm using the move action, so I'll just walk up and give it a little casual bunk, with the little dwarven axe.
All right. Let's see what you can swing. See if you can lop the neck off of the creature.
I wouldn't get too excited.
You never know. 19 hits.
Dope.
I argue geese do count as vermin.
They do not. No matter how much you may hate them, they do not.
13 damage.
13 damage. Yeah, as you slash into the creature, you watch as the kind of cutting into the side of its arm as it goes to play, or its wing as it pulls its wing up a little bit to guard its neck. The creature kind of ducking a little bit behind it. You tear into it, watching the chunk of wing go flying off as it does so, and the creature starts splaying blood onto the ground. It still seems to stand, though it's almost barely managing to hold its posture as it seems to hiss at you and honk angrily.
I honk back.
Them's fighting words!
You've challenged it. Roll an intimidation check.
I'm intimidating as balls, I promise.
And as you honk back, the creature seems to almost kind of look at you and then hiss and honk louder back at you. And as you end your turn, I assume?
Yep.
It is going to go and try and bite you. now as it turns to strike. This totally wasn't your entire goal, as it has been challenged.
Honestly, I was like, man, I really hope someone does enough damage to get its attention.
That's a 20, not natural.
This is going to be upsetting to say to you, DM.
That doesn't hit, does it, with adamantine?
Nope.
Oh, that hurts. The creature's gonna take another bite at you. I've gotta, come on, you know? Oh, that's... that's 15 plus 10, that's 25 to hit.
Okay, that barely hits.
Oh, finally, as the goose nips at you. Alright, let me roll my damage. Oh, you're gonna be really scared of this, damage here, I promise you. 5 max damage, yes! As it bites you for 5 points of piercing damage, tearing at a little snag of your arm.
Shit!
As it does
Max
so.
damage! Woo!
It tears at a small snag of your armor, getting a nip at you as you take piercing damage.
Says it does too.
Oh?
Adamantine
Is
Oh, it does have damage reduction. Yeah, that's true. That is correct. Because it has a minus, 3 reduction, I believe.
Yep. This is the first damage I took because I have cold resistance. The thing didn't damage me with the breath.
The creature just kind of, as it tears away now, a little bit of blood kind of hanging from its mouth, it honks in triumph, ending its turn. Kez, you are up.
All right. Let me see what I want to do here. I mean, I'm probably just gonna smack it. Yeah, I'm just gonna smack it. Easy done. Oh, that's a nat 20. Let me roll. Actually, I'll roll the second one in the actual chat.
Oh, I can see your dice log. You know that right now. So yeah, I can see the 28. So you can use World Anvil. It's okay. I can see your rolls.
It wouldn't show as a 28. It would show as a 23.
Oh, is it 23? Listen, it's really small text, okay, from my image, so it's tiny as shit. It's hard to read. I can't tell if it's an 8 or a 3, okay?
Nope. That's only an 18, but it's still, I still get crit damage nonetheless.
Well, actually, no, that is correct. No, that is a crit, because you did pass its AC. So, the way crits work in, So that is that is an actual crit.
One more time, right?
It's roll one more time, and if you get a nat 20 on the third, you get a permanent injury on the creature, assuming it escapes.
Well, yeah, that's not it. All right, that's a 9. Okay.
9. Okay. Nope. So yeah, you can either double the total rolled or double the dice rolled.
Well, so the crit on my weapon is a ×3.
Okay. So triple time. You can either triple the damage or triple the dice rolled. Your choice.
You also triple the modifiers for 3.5, by the way.
Yep.
Fire. All right. And the modifier is like my strength, right?
Correct. Any flat modifiers to damage you have that aren't precision based get affected by crits.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay.
Crits in 3.5 are far scarier than what we dealt with in 5e.
The only thing that doesn't is depending on what your weapon ability is that's doing the extra thunder damage. The added damage from that usually doesn't get crit unless it's a specific kind of ability. There's a burst version versus a normal.
Yeah. But, alright, go ahead. You can go ahead and roll for everything else for right now.
Gotcha. Because I know it's part of the weapon. It's just that I have to activate it to do the electric damage, which I did. Okay.
Yeah, it's like smite in that sense is the idea.
Yours isn't the burst version. The burst version's a higher enchantment.
Mm-hmm.
So my lightning damage doesn't count for the crit?
You just get normal lightning damage.
Okay, cool. So let's roll this 3 times. 5, 10.
If you roll all
20.
nat ones.
20 total.
20 damage
for
total?
For the bludgeoning, and then my modifier times 3 is 9.
Alright.
So 29 bludgeoning.
How would you like to do this, Kez?
Alright. So Kez is going to run up and jump and kind of scale the neck of the goose
Mm-hmm.
and kind of just, I assume its neck strength might not be the best, and get it down on the ground. And then as it's in a chokehold, I'll just start with my hammer, just bang, 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 just absolutely turning it into a gushy mess of red and white feathers.
Yeah, as you guys watch, as Kez kind of goes up, grabbing
Shadow of the Colossus, this shit.
Kind of getting it into the pit of his elbow. He grabs onto the goose, dragging it down to the ice onto the floor. As the goose seems to kind of its head bounce off the ice. You watch as Kez brings down his hammer once, as the creature's head seems to bounce heavily, a loud squish and cracking sounds being heard. As the creature honks, a second slam goes down. More cracking can be heard as the honk seems to get fainter and almost kind of more high pitched. As the third one goes down, the creature's skull goes right through the ice, and you watch as it seems to splatter against the hefty and solid dirt below. As the creature's head turns into a very thick red mush, causing the water to also reflect in a similar color. As you watch it stop moving, the body kind of falling and collapsing.
Ned looks both horrified and impressed.
Kez will deactivate the lightning and kind of just goes back to normal. So, alright. Mission completed. What do we do about the eggs?
Yeah, take them with. Probably get a fat bonus from them. Other than they're going to die out here if we don't do anything with them.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. What was... Because we have to bring this... Was it this one?
Are we grabbing the dragon bodies too?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yes. That's why I suggested bringing the car out of character, so we had a way to carry all this.
But we got a sled.
Oh, that's true.
We do have a sled. Let's see. Yeah. All right. However, Kez is a little conflicted about taking the dragon bodies, as he did kind of just... Well, I mean, he did lay their souls to rest and doesn't know exactly how he'd feel with dealing with their bodies.
Well, you have that internal debate. We might be moving on with grabbing them.
I was going to say.
They are quite light when you kind of start to pick them up, weighing about half of what what you count is 2 wormlings of what you do realize is not white. They are silver-scaled dragons, for your own notes.
That's even sadder.
And a single what looks to be just on the brink of hitting what you consider a very young dragon for size. So the wormlings are small, and the very young would be considered medium. I believe a dragon's weight is not that as much as people think.
I mean, I guess nonetheless, their souls are at least laid to rest, so might as well use them.
I was about to say, Ugbo doesn't dislike the idea of utilizing animals.
Well, it's a difference of a sentient, like a sentient versus an animal.
I meant more she doesn't seem to care about corporeal flesh versus the spirit of something.
I mean, technically it's true, because the idea, from your understanding, there's nothing against using, parts of a dragon to make armor, for example. As long as you're not binding the soul and reanimating the dead, I mean, as long as the creature is able to move on, I mean, there's no technical wrongness to it.
So actually, then let me ask a question as pertains to undead in this world. Is undead taking their soul and putting it back, or using the body without its soul?
So undead is technically without the soul. However, if you are brought back and had your soul put back in, that would also be by Ella Ugbo's classification as undead, because technically you have gone against what is the natural cause of death of what you were supposed to die.
Mm-hmm. So, because undead itself, I'm still very much against them. Put him down, as it's a desecration of the corpse.
Yeah,
of
but
a laid to rest person.
Yes, that is correct. But if someone was, say, reincarnated, that would be its own individual thing, because that's a new body. But and that's also, again, that's up to the soul. Has a choice in that spell, if I remember correctly. But yeah, so if someone's revived or something like that from death, when they were already clearly dead, that would be something that would be counted as undead to her, even if they are technically not.
Yeah, I think this should be fine. This should be fine.
All right. Yeah. As you guys are going about it, so as you're grabbing the corpses, first off, who's grabbing the corpses? Because I know they're medium and small, so they're roughly the small ones will be about 200 pounds. The medium one is about 400 pounds for your own.
I mean,
note.
we could always tag team it, 2 people
Okay.
per, and that should pretty much solve any problems that should bring.
So either Ned and Kez are
Ned
gonna
and
kind of
Kez.
okay.
Kez is strong.
Either are you going for the eggs? I
Vader
assume.
can carry one by himself, totally.
Yeah, I can carry the eggs because they should be a lot lighter in general.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Because I'm strong, but I'm not, giant strong. So.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know this goose is heavy, but avian bodies are also relatively light. How heavy is this bird?
As you kind of look about it and kind of pull on it, you'd guesstimate this bird is probably around the north of 700 pounds in weight. I mean, this is a large bird. And then while you're all doing this, give me spot checks. Just for in case, because I assume you're not on the lookout for something specific, but you're kind of on the lookout for anything showing up just in case.
22.
19 on the spot.
19.
14.
Okay. 14. All right. Okay. As you guys go about your business, kind of going as Ned and Kez kind of grabbing the dragon bodies as you both kind of grab one of the small ones and then kind of with one hand and then both kind of tag team the medium one to drag it, kind of splitting the weight between the two of you. You manage to start kind of dragging the 3 bodies with you towards the kind of heading towards the ship. It's going to be a bit of a walk in this thick storm. I mean, the snow hasn't let up. It's still very hefty. You're still walking through the snow. So as you kind of follow your track, what is roughly your tracks back, kind of dragging these bodies through the snow, nothing seems to kind of catch your attention. Though as you get closer to the village, you do hear some light clapping as you kind of notice some people in the windows kind of clapping and waving towards you lot. As you go to grab the 3 eggs, kind of walking over the ice. Just give me a dex checks for the ice, let's say, see if you have any issues walking across it. Not as you look, I will say the ice is solid all the way through. I'd imagine you would have been very clear to investigate that given the heavy armor you're wearing. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, that, and to be completely honest with you, it's heavy armor. There's fucking giants standing on it.
That's true. Yeah, that is also true. I was gonna say,
I ain't jack shit.
Yeah. I was gonna say the lake doesn't look to be that. It doesn't look to be also that deep. You'd guesstimate as you look down, like maybe 10 feet deep of ice, but it is solid all the way down. So it's just kind of keeping your footing. Right, with 14. Yeah, as you kind of manage to get yourself across, grabbing getting over to the nest, you see as the thick nest seems to be, as you kind of pull, kind of dig it out, some of the eggs out, seems to have a very thick lining of what looks to be some sort of organ-like sac underneath each of the eggs, kind of like a sheep haggis. A very thick stomach of some sort with a bunch of organs stuffed in it, and it seems to be kind of almost letting off steam, keeping the eggs warm as you kind of start to pick one up and look at it. As you kind of pick it up, it's only 10 pounds, but the thing is about a 2 foot tall by 2 foot wide egg. These aren't small eggs, so.
Oh, I get it. They killed the dragon so they can get something to heat the eggs with. That's actually pretty smart.
Not just dragons. It was also killing people for these organs.
As you kind of look about, I assume you're just taking the 3 eggs and then kind of heading off to the edge to go back to the ship.
Yeah, I think I might try and gesture Dom to come over because they're fairly sure-footed. These are it's mostly even if we get these to civilization, they'd probably be dead because I don't have the ability to shield them from the elements because I'm just not physically large enough.
I'm large and I have hot clothes. We could figure something out.
Yeah, as you're kind of looking over, jumping back to Ned and Kez for a second. Ned and Kez, you both notice as you get to the edge of the forest and now kind of seeing the village ahead of you. Before we get to all the way to the point of hearing clapping and such. You kind of look back and you do notice a bunch of flashing green lights that seem to kind of echo back from the forest for a second. And they are bright, kind of glimmering throughout as you take a second. But you don't see anything in details due to the thick snow as you kind of look back. It seems to be coming back from where the lake was, though. Do you two, I assume, kind of drop the corpses and head back, or are you just going to continue on?
So what, we left with the corpses while the others stayed with the eggs? Is
Yeah,
that what happened?
while you two are dragging the corpses away, now at the outskirts of the forest, in that time, it allowed Eider to kind of check the ice and then kind of walk over it to get to the eggs and take a look at the eggs.
Gotcha.
You are now kind of, as you're at that edge, seeing inside the forest back behind you where you had just come from these flashing green lights for a moment.
All right. And we have
were
all the
once
bodies,
told
right?
green is the best. So
Yeah.
So
Green is lucky.
so we have all the bodies here, right? The 3 dragons and the goose.
The goose is still back at the where Eider and
gotcha.
yeah.
Because if I remember,
because you couldn't carry it all in one trip, is what I was saying. So this is just the first trip.
You'd have to carve it up.
Well, no,
I mean,
assumingly you had all 3 go back to drag it, but from what it sounded like, you were trying to get the dragon corpses first onto the ship.
Because
So.
you said it, the body of the goose is about 700 pounds, right?
Yes.
And the push, drag, and lift is what, 5 times your max carry capacity, right?
Yes.
Gotcha. So my max is 2,900 pounds.
Yes, but
For push, drag, and
assumedly
lift.
you've got one medium dragon in one hand with a leg, and then a small dragon in the other.
I mean, we have the sled, right?
You do have a sled that's not that is built for dogs and someone of Eider's size. That would fit its leg.
It might hold a wormling.
Sled.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
it would fit the
hopefully,
wormling.
all right, cool. Yeah, nonetheless, all 3 of the dragons. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ned, do you want to stay with the bodies? Actually, no. Everyone's hiding. They're not going to be there. All right. Yeah. Let's go back and go check on them and get that goose.
Okay. As Ned, as you two kind of turn back, Eider, as you're turning to look for a moment, you catch a glimpse of a bright green light that seems to dissipate as you kind of lock eyes, or finally notice where Dom's standing as he seems to wave. Standing over the corpse and kind of a moment ago looking as if they were kind of doing something as they kind of stand up and look over to you. Dom kind of walks over as you call them over, Eider.
Yeah, I'll walk. The eggs? Yes, I think I can help carry them. They'll probably need stored in my clothing so they don't freeze in the blizzard.
We could just cut open the goose and store it in its body. Should still be warm in there.
Give it a minute. You're not there yet.
That is true.
No, this is me. This is me as Hunter. Yeah, like Luke Skywalker and the Tauntaun.
Yeah, you didn't know Kez absorbed the abilities of the goose to just appear in the middle of a snow blizzard without making a sound.
It just appears right next to my head, just like, hey,
Yeah.
We get game tips now.
Yeah, but as you walking over, looking at the eggs. Eider, give me a sense motive real quick. If you don't mind. Okay.
I'm addicted to the number 14.
Yeah. No. The
Yeah.
as Dom comes over, it's nothing seems off about this situation in the slightest.
I'm stuffing eggs in my shirt right now.
Alright, yeah. As Dom shoves one egg each into each side, leaving you with one of them. Eider, that leaves the 3. Kind of as you look through the nest, there doesn't seem to be any other eggs within the nest.
How big are the sacks? Could we put the eggs in the sacks to carry?
Looking over them, they're about roughly 2.5 feet wide, and they're not very. They're about less than a foot tall as they're on their sides. They're not, so they don't look like they stretch much.
Is depending on how far in development the babies are, they don't take up the whole egg space yet. So theoretically, if they fit at least on the bottom, could provide heat upwards through the egg.
If that's what you want to do. So.
It is a blizzard.
Yeah.
You know what? Scrap that. Dom sees them and starts stuffing them in the meat sacks.
Yeah, as Ned and Kez come walking through the tree line, seeing as Dom is pulling out the giant flesh stomach sacks and shoving one of the eggs in it. You see the corpse kind of laying there Ned and Kez as you come walking and walking up Eider and Dom working away, getting the eggs kind of shoved in what looks to be these thick meat sacks.
It's weird going.
Well, you want to get the goose?
Hey guys, what are you doing with the eggs?
Taking them with us?
Keeping them warm. They will fetch quite a good price, if not be useful to us if we could keep these things alive and raise them. So, since they require warmth, this is how the mother was keeping them warm. Seems useful. As he's like bloodied gloves, like pulling up a stomach around the egg, tying it off or however he can. Just
Yep, blood going
guys-
everywhere.
What if we just put it back inside the goose?
Well, we're not cutting the goose up. My apologies. I knew the guild needed the part, so I thought we were doing that there.
Well, did this mission say they needed the parts?
Yeah, they wanna cut it
The
up, I
mission said we
if
need
I-
it dead and the parts turned into the guild, is what the paper exactly stated.
We could wait to cut it up when we return and use it to store the eggs. I just figured to save us trouble, we'd do it here, but
All right.
your
Then
call.
I mean, we could just bring the whole bird. So, Ned. So what? One of each of you is just gonna grab an egg, and I'll take care of the bird.
Sounds good.
I offered Ned an egg in a meat sack.
Ned,
offered him-
just close your eyes, bud. I know this is a little much.
Part of nature.
Don't worry, it's not animal parts, it's people parts. It's fine.
Listen, you should have seen this guy when he figured out what a butchery was.
Ned?
He's just looking back and forth, just eyes widening more. And more.
Do you take the bloody sack with an egg in it?
By like
there's a
the
animal
tip of
inside
2
this.
fingers.
Ned, you need to tuck it
carry
in
it
tighter.
closer
It's
than
gonna
that.
die.
I'm
That is
gonna
a
tuck
living
you
animal.
in this meat sack in a minute. Wrong voice. Whoops.
Well, Melvin.
Ned's so traumatized, he just became a new person.
All right, let's.
Ned has like
Yeah.
personality.
Let's
an
get back
alter
to
ego.
let's get back to the dragon bodies. Also, when we're at the village, I intend on cutting at least the stomach open to see if we can salvage any some farmers' bodies, given back to them, lay them to rest where they belong.
Seems wise.
As you go and grab the bodies and kind of head towards the village, dragging the giant goose, the giant goose dragon wormling thing, along with you back towards where the rest of the corpses were, kind of with the sled with Eider on the sled, eventually catching up and kind of tossing the small dragons into Eider's lap to kind of be held and sit there. You drag the rest of the corpses with you until you get back towards your ship. It takes the rest of the day to pretty much get from the lake to all the way back to your airship. As you do so, you do see the very thick snow is kind of built up, and see Sen kind of walking up and down or climbing up and down the ladder, the rope ladder he's made for himself, carrying what looks to be bits of books, bones, what looks to be a cloak of some sort. As he kind of heads into the top of the ship, disappearing with him. As you lot kind of stay standing down at the bottom of the ship with the corpses still with you, and Eider riding on the sled.
The squad.
Oh, right. It should be easy enough to at least fit the dragon bodies in the ship. However, it might be difficult to fit this thing on board. We might have to tie it up to the ship and fly it across.
This thing fit a wagon inside of it. This thing fit a wagon inside of it.
Can it fit more than just a wagon inside of it?
Pretty sure.
I'm sure the coat
You
rack
got
could
the
let
wagon
us
on last
figure it
time.
out.
in the cargo hold. I don't know how large it is based off the picture.
It is a
think it's
3-deck
larger on the
ship.
inside.
Yeah, it is. You got the top deck, which is where the captain's quarters is, and the helm of the pilot's seat is. The second deck, which is the crew and the chef's areas. And then the bottom deck is just a very open area with nothing in it, and is set for storage.
Gotcha. Is there any doors big enough to actually put something this big into the cargo hold, or is it?
You know, it's funny. There's a winding staircase that you never saw the wagon go down into the ship, but you know, because you've been in that wagon, the cart that's pulled by the direwolf, if you will, that thing is way too large by about good 2-3 feet to fit down the very curved staircase that goes down into the ship.
I request Sen's help with the dragon corpse. I'll call out so he can emerge from the shadows. I don't believe he can see where he is.
Because I swear, if there's
But I
some
know he's
fucking
there.
like cargo bay door that we could have just been leaving from this whole time instead of hopping down from the top.
As you shout out to Sen, do you are you going to respond, or are you just going to go put away your stuff?
Well, I have a bag of holding. I just want to kind of appear behind Dom.
Oh.
Do I know that he's appeared behind me?
I just stare silently while standing behind Dom.
As a few moments go by, you suddenly feel the hot breath of Sen or of an individual behind you. As you turn around, you see Sen just kind of standing there staring at you.
Wonderful. I know it wasn't exactly part of your job description, so I can add it to pay if needed, but we'd like your assistance bringing the goose into the ship safely. I know you managed it before with the cart.
Sen's gonna hate to tell him that Barger's the one that shrunk the cart.
Oh.
Oh, so then how are we gonna get the fucking car down?
Oh no!
Like, what the fuck?
I've been waiting for that realization this entire time.
Sen didn't move the cart, Barger did. At least he got it through the hard thing, remember? I didn't do that.
Oh shit.
We were instructed to close our eyes, so we knew fuck all about that.
Well, he said,
Yeah,
he said close your eyes and I will move the cart, is what Barger said.
Wait, hold on. You didn't ask to see if there was a way to get it out?
No, it's not the bottom of the ship.
No.
To be fair, we didn't think we couldn't.
That's also fair.
Well, all we heard was
Sen,
dragging
you see the
noises and, like,
bodies?
some other stuff, so...
You know the staircase is narrow. It fits, though, this lot that each of them get in is just going to be a tight squeeze.
Sen narrows his eyes at the goose. He looks at it. He looks at the ship. He looks at the stairs and at the rope he's carrying. And Sen just goes, Sen got this.
So we tie it inside of this bit?
Fully... You know what? Out of character, we 100% could just cut this goose up and bring it down, but I want to see what Sen does, so Dom will allow this. Dom will have trust.
Well, the entire thing was we don't want to cut it up, because I don't think we'll get reward, or we'll get less of one at least.
Because who knows? If we don't cut it up well, we might damage parts.
Oh, that's true.
That, unless any of us is like, an actual researcher, we don't know what specifically they're looking for.
I do have the background of what is it?
I mean,
exactly?
Theoretically, I think
Monster Slayer. So
Sen starts tying.
Yeah, it's fine. We could just, Sen could just start tying.
Sen starts tying up the corpses with his rope.
And then I tie the rope around my shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
You watch as Sen slowly ties each of the corpses up quite well. As he does so, kind of tying it onto himself one by one, each of them kind of ends up on, kind of strapped onto either his back or his hips, either by the neck or by the center chest. And as he does so, Sen finishes up, kind of now looking as if he's wearing an armor of dead dragons, as well as a massive goose.
I will begin marching up the mountain.
You see as Sen turns and just starts running at top speeds. He disappears almost in an instant.
We will meet him up there. I say to Kez, who probably hasn't witnessed this guy's speed yet, and I'm assuming Kez is utterly baffled.
Kez, from your recollection, you ever seen the old Looney Tune cartoons of Speedy Gonzales when he disappeared and leave like a cloud shape of himself?
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what you see as Sen just vanishes.
What's your movement speed?
At dash, 275 feet.
Damn.
Trolls are fast, dude. Trolls are really fast.
So wait, what's your regular movement speed?
Before the troll thing I'm doing to speed up, trolls have a base 50. But I have the run feet, and I have a thing speeding because I have red boots.
Troll magic. He is gone as he disappears towards the mountain, leaving you lot here. The obvious footprints in the snow kind of showing where he ran, but otherwise seems almost a little bit of what looks to be steam kind of coming off where his feet seem to have landed onto the snow as he disappears.
Well, hey guys, we got a sled. Oh, and I'll hit Dom with a Cure Light Wounds.
All right.
I was about to ask. Dom does look pretty bad. Like I know he's carrying a bloody egg, but he does look pretty bloodied. He's not doing great. He's been heaving and wheezing this whole time.
I assume you're doing this as you're climbing onto the ship?
Either before, after. Climbing on... In the process of climbing might not be the best time.
Fair. As you kind of get aboard the ship, getting out of the cold... Eider, the last bit of your enjoyment of the frost seemingly gone as you go 7 HP, nice. As you lot kind of gather together in the on the top deck. Kaz, I imagine going down to the bottom deck to stare at the carriage or the wagon that's been set
just
down there.
looking at it like these fucking.
As you look to kind of like start kind of measuring it out, just by using your hands as you kind of put your hands to the edge of it and then go to the stairway. There's no way physically they could have gotten that thing down there. As you look at, there's literally no way that maths. As you look at the thing, it is literally half of the cart.
Like this is a cargo space, but there's no way to get actual big cargo down. I need a shrink spell or something.
But as you lot kind of gather on the ship, healing Dom as you head back up, managing to give them a nice pat on the back, feeling the warmth of the healing coming through you, Dom. You regain your health. Kez, give me a wisdom check real quick.
Wisdom is something I can do. Bum, bum,
Don
bum.
Under would give a appreciative nod back, by the way.
23 wisdom.
Alright, I'm gonna PM you something real quick. As the ship starts taking off, Eider, go ahead and give me a use magic device.
Let's not crash, guys. Come on, we've done so good.
Let me see what I'm about to get sent, but I might have something else to do during this flight.
They're about to just see like an icy smoke cloud running up the mountain while they fly.
Yeah, we're just gonna follow after you.
Hey, Dom. I need to talk to you for a second.
Of course. I wait for you to lead me somewhere to talk or to initiate conversation.
I'll just bring us to the comically funny location of where the cart is.
Yes, you go down to the bottom of the cargo. There's a cart. There's the direwolf laying down asleep on what looks to be a long blanket, and then a single barrel that has its lid busted open. That's it.
I wonder who was in that barrel that's stowed away.
Oh yes, there's also a broken apart hat rack that has the hats nailed to the boards instead of actually hung on the nails. So,
all right, Dom, this is serious. When we were in combat with the goose, when you attacked, I sensed some necrotic energy coming from you. And I can't take that kind of stuff lightly. Not only that, when I healed you, I kind of sensed the goose's soul coming from you. So, would you kindly explain what you're doing?
Of course. As Domnander is speaking, he takes off a glove, which has been bloodied by the stomach sacks. I imagine I set the egg down so I don't have it like on my lap.
I
as I'm
assume as soon
talking.
as you guys got on the airship, you would have probably set them in the captain's quarters
Yes.
and wrapped them up to make sure they wouldn't break or fall over.
You would see again his nails, which are a little bit like weirdly long and sharp, and on them you would see on the hand part the faint glimmer of scales, which catch the light because they're not bloodied, because the glove was covering it. I was waiting for this conversation. I didn't want to broach it myself because I just met you and things seemed touchy. I'm, in a sense, cursed a bit, you could say. I have powers, it seems, that come from a bit more of a necromantic force. That was my first time using it just now. I've avoided it for obvious reasons, kind of gestures at you as he puts the glove back on. I can assure you I have no spells. I cannot raise the dead. I cannot command them. I'm not a necromancer. I'm not an occult. You have my word on this. But I do have powers on that side of things that I'm going to have to use as combat gets harder so we don't die. Rest assured, I have no plans to interfere with your religion or do anything wrong. You must understand this is purely survival.
Then I'm gonna need you to let that soul go.
Mm. It's a lot more complicated than that.
We can work at that. I know.
Well,
Listen,
yes, I plan to.
if what you're telling me is true, that you have, you know what? Is it okay if I roll an insight here? Is this fair?
Go
Sense
for it.
motive, yeah.
Sense motive, yeah.
What would what do you want me to roll?
Bluff.
I figured.
Excuse me.
Sense
Spicy things went down the wrong pipe.
15 sense motive.
Okay.
I got a 14.
Okay. Dom?
Yep. Kez would detect that nothing Down Under has said is a lie. He's hard to read, intentionally so, but he has anticipated this conversation. He did seem to expect you would notice, and still did what he did in combat. He isn't aligned with the necromancy. He doesn't have spell abilities. He wasn't lying about that. He's being honest, saying it's a survival thing, and he does seem to be honest when he says things are more complex to him than simply like letting it go. And he does seem honest about this being like the first time he's done this. So it doesn't seem like he's been doing this in the background behind your back. Is like, this does seem new to him.
Okay. Dom,
You would catch the curse part doesn't seem like a lie, but there does seem to be more to that he's not disclosing. But nothing else. Yeah, nothing else is a lie.
I get the curse part is kind of personal. I mean, I'm not going to be telling people about my curse. This is me talking, not Kez. All right. Okay. Dom, you are a very trusted person, and I can see you're not lying to me. But I can't just let this go. I am not going to be, damning you to hell or anything of that nature. However, we need to work at this because I can't sit idly by with, even though it's a beast's soul, it is still a unwilling soul. And I cannot let that stand. I believe you. You're not intentionally doing this. It's not your fault. But you say it's complex. I need details so we can work at getting rid of this curse.
Kez says we as he kind of motions about the empty area, and then as Dom looks and sees Ned kind of hiding in the background watching this entire time.
Well, we as in me and, the person who has the curse.
Eider, who can fully hear the entire conversation due to the copper pipes in this ship being very echoey.
Salamander is speaking with the belief that we're being overheard.
This entire conversation can be heard throughout the ship, yeah.
Yeah.
But, hear a metallic, what?
Nonetheless.
Salamander, coughs a bit like an amusement at that.
Nonetheless, help me help you. The more I know about your situation, the more I can get that soul free and help you break this curse.
I am close to Utham, and of course, one of those reasons being he found me when I was young and kept me alive. Another being, I am a topic of interest, you could say. Rest assured, I am speaking to Utham about this. We are hashing out the details, and I fully assure you, and I mean no disrespect, he is far more capable of doing something than you are, at least right now. I know you're a healer, so perhaps that is subject to change, but just as we are not strong enough to tackle the necromancers, I don't think you would be strong enough to undo anything here. And he gestures to just himself, like a circular motion, like himself. I am flattered by the offer. Don't get me wrong. But logistically, it's a little bit out of our scope.
Yes. I'm going to go to my room. I will talk to you guys when we get back to port. And I'm going to go to my room, and I need to pray. I need to see if I can get any idea of some guidance on this issue from my deity.
Yeah, as you head up to your room, kind of leaving Dom standing there, Ned kind of left aghast, the ship kind of sputtering finally to awaken, to start moving. As a few awkward moments of silence go by, as Eider, I imagine, kind of waits to see if he hears anything else before firing up the ship fully.
I was saying, can Salamander fully just walk up to where Eider is, because I heard him exclaim, and just kind of linger in the area? I know he's driving, so just linger in the area.
Yeah, as the ship starts to kind of sputter up. Eider, as you see as Dom comes walking up the stairs. Ned, I want to make clear, are you following after Dom, or are you kind of just vibing on your own? Did you have anything?
He'd been sitting in with Eider, I feel like.
Okay.
Just kind of listening to the conversation.
Yeah, all right, yeah. As you
also horrified because he thinks Utham is a necromancer, and now it sounds like Dom is a necromancer.
Yeah.
You're fair, as I imagine.
That's also not to mention the first time, one of the few times I saw Utham, especially with that weapon, the whole soul thing I sensed.
Yeah.
This is not going well for Kez right now.
Kez didn't even see the other form of Utham.
Oh yeah.
Also, worst part, you missed the magical UN. That's when Utham fully explained what the deal with the weapon was if you weren't there.
Yeah, ain't that crazy, right?
Yeah, that's
the plot, the tension.
But yeah, as you head up, as the three of you kind of sit there, and the awkward conversation begins. I mean, Eider, do you say anything during when Dom comes up?
So that's why you smell like evil.
Ah, you finally called me out on it. I was waiting, you aren't good at not giving side eye as a note for when we're in social situations. Yes. That would be part of the issue. There's also the matter of this, which he kind of pulls aside shirt, and you could see, same like the scales on his hand, the scales that go along his chest, which is one of the parts under his clothes that had been glowing during the usage of his powers earlier. You could see the scales go probably under his clothes, which is probably why you've never seen him outside of long sleeve clothes. So yes.
Hey, DM.
Yes.
Looking at it, am I able to discern if it is draconic or perhaps planar in nature?
It does look to you could if
yeah.
you're going for a knowledge planar or a knowledge arcana, I'll take either if that's what you're thinking.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I will.
Well, technically, it's up to you.
PM you something real quick, just as a reminder.
I'll tell you what. I'll roll the dice, apply whichever one is more applicable, and I'll just tell you the modifiers that way.
Well, I leave it
It's
to
not
the
meta.
character's interpretation. If you think this is a dragon, then you can go with the knowledge arcana. If you think this is a creature that's beyond the mortal plane, then you can go with knowledge planar.
Well, though, like specifically, I want to roll to see which way it's landing because I
Oh,
can see it.
give me an
being-
intelligence check. Yeah, that'll just take an intelligence check to see which way it would go.
19.
19. As you kind of take a look at these scales for a moment, something kind of catches your attention as far as it goes. Give me a moment to pull up my info for it. This, whatever these scales are more likely seem to be from this plane of existence. They are lizard in appearance, like a reptilian rather. So as you kind of take a look at them, give me a knowledge arcana to see if you can tell what what this is.
Okay. Thankfully, that's the one I'm good at, or the best at, rather. 27.
27. You would recognize these scales pretty quickly as troglodyte scales. Though they are slightly off-looking. Something looks strange about them on the body as you kind of take a look. You can give me a heal check to see if you can tell exactly what it is due to having to do with the bias connection, but if you're not as interested, the creature clearly is a troglodyte in scale design.
Let's check and see what I can. I'm not necessarily trained in heal, but
Okay.
it's a 2, so no.
As you kind of take a second looking at it, and they're not... There's something weird about him, but not enough to to be something you're concerned about. I mean, to be fair, Dom's weird. Dom has troglodyte scales. That's weird enough, to be honest. There's probably something magical going on, but you're unsure.
And just to clarify for your setting, are troglodyte different in nature, or are they still the, like, kind of diseased, sort of quasi-humanoids?
Stinky.
In a sense, yeah, they mostly, from what your knowledge would be, is they exist in the Underdark, for the most part, and they're not really common amongst the above ground. They're most often used as slaves and for labor and such. But it's very rare that they're even used for that. Mostly killed due to their appearance.
Makes sense. Also, their stench.
Yes.
Specifically,
Well,
stench.
you don't get that close usually. Yeah.
I'm not stenchy. I'm not smelly. Let's just be very clear. Hygiene.
you get the classic Eider side eye as he goes.
Now, Ned, on the other hand,
Yeah.
Ned smells a little gamey.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, a little? He's covered in moss.
They just like pipe up and say, "Well, thankfully you didn't get the stench part of your troglodyte."
It's not naturally part of me, so no. But these things, from what I understand, aren't morally good creatures per se, so I'm sure they set off whatever senses you have in terms of what is good and what is bad. As he like adjusts his shirt, like gets the thick fur collar like fixed so that no scales are showing. It's why I hide them from people, obviously. I can't hide the energy, but I can hide the visuals, and it saves me a lot of trouble explaining these things to the less educated.
Eric kind of like pauses things for a moment and say, they're not, well, they're a little on the unsophisticated side, but they're not evil per se. Not like...
Outside of character, I believe troglodytes, unless I was wrong, are evil aligned. I think they're neutral evil. I could be wrong. Am I wrong?
No.
They are chaotic evil.
Oh, then yes.
Even worse. They are
Oh, so
chaotic creature.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's mostly because, like, I'm saying, like, they're not elementally evil. Like, insofar as having a part grafted to you would give you an evil aura of your own because of that. Because, like, there's a huge difference between, like, oh, I sawed a piece of a fiend off and I stuck it in my arm, versus, like, I have a null part.
I don't know. You got a 2 on your heal check, buddy. That's for you in the DM to discuss. Dom's just
You want
saying
to
what
talk
he's
to
saying.
him about it?
Well, to be fair,
You want to talk to him about it?
to be fair, the heal check isn't necessarily knowing about the magic. Spellcraft would, because it would be more related to, like, a curse or a magical
The
effect.
stink is strong.
I could.
Yeah. As you kind of look about this, as Dom fixes their shirt, taking a moment, as you kind of continue this, as the ship continues to fire off, exploding in the background, the sounds of what sounds like something kind of moving about throughout the bottom deck, as if the pipes seemingly echo as bolts pop, the sounds of something heavy moving about, and then suddenly a loud explosion seems to be heard for a moment as the ship kind of picks up a little bit of speed and starts moving a little bit faster up.
That doesn't sound good.
No.
I, like, called down through the pipes. Oh, by the
you
way,
are the pilot.
Like, I called down the pipes so that Kez can hear me. He's like, "Oh, by the way, while we're airing out bad laundry, I do soul magic."
Kez, who's right now in the middle of deep prayer, mind focusing, just hears this.
The eyes open.
As he's feeling the connection beginning, starting to see his goddess, or what he thinks is his goddess, suddenly that pairs through his mind and just awakens, and then you see that. It's like, oh.
And now, Hunter, Kez, think, is it just those two, or does Ned also do
It's just like things like, am I surrounded on all sides by enemies?
Wait, Dominic gives Ader such like for the first time you see him give you like a look of just like, really?
Bro,
now?
Now? He's super amused, but he's just giving you a look of like, really?
If it comes out that Ned does soul magic, I'm gonna laugh so fucking hard.
Ned is the type of druid that deals with like forces of dead creatures and like the souls of the plants.
Oh, God.
I use nature. I didn't say what kind of nature.
Yeah, he's part of the decomposers.
He's a mushroom druid.
But as Eider says this into the pipes, Kez, you are snapped out of your meditation as it just starts to begin. Do you do anything?
Kez will just take a deep breath. We'll get to that. And then try to get back into prayer.
Okay.
You threw me off my groove!
As we're going to jump over to our cleric who's kind of dealing with this. Go ahead and give me a wisdom check.
Yeah. Oh, also, did that roll that you had me roll earlier for wisdom with the dead dragons do anything? I know.
Oh, what do you mean?
You said you rolled, and like I'll note that for later. So I was curious if that actually did anything.
Don't worry about it. If it'll come up when it needs to come up.
I hit that twice. 7 on my fucking wisdom. God damn it.
Your mind fills with every moment you've spent with Eider, all the times he's defended you, calling you a man to other people, and like standing up for you. Your body is warring with every bit. This is the first individual to recognize you other than Ned since you left town. And now he's also could be. Yeah. As you start to think on this, kind of starting to focus, it takes away your meditation. It doesn't take long, though, much after as you lot find yourselves at the top, above the cloud line. The ship kind of starting to float. It's the dust cloud of Sen in the distance, easily being seen, kind of running up the mountain. As you lot kind of almost, it's an awkward silence kind of takes over the ship as the deep contemplation, waiting for Kez to not come upstairs or to even say anything. Yet nothing seems to come of it. As you lot kind of make small talk, finding yourselves finally coming to the what's set up as the docks for the few skyships that come through the area. You manage to Yeah, set yourselves up with the ship coming to a stop. Kez never managing to regain his focus and truth as the ship comes to a halt. I assume Kez would as he feels the ship kind of coming to a halt, would kind of chase after the party and head outside, waiting for Sen.
Yeah.
Okay. As you lot kind of coming together, seeing as Kez comes up, just kind of looking at you guys and just kind of, I imagine a grimace on his face, as the heavy bags under his eyes as if he hasn't been able to sleep in a day or two. The appearance kind of washes over his face as you lot head up and over the ship, around the same time as Sen finally crests the mountain itself. Coming into what is the open area for the sky ships. Still dragons attached, though. The former goose is now almost completely featherless, minus its head, as the rest seems to have completely torn off. The thick scales underneath it seemingly show with their vibrant bluish color coming through.
Lucky Scales. Lucky Scales. He's singing about scales as he comes up.
Oh, blue is lucky. Green's just the best. I forgot.
Yep. Great job, Sim. Appreciate the help.
But yes. I think we can get it from here. And Dom is like gathering up the eggs and stuff to make sure we can. And well, actually, no, we don't. We should keep the eggs on the ship, right?
Yeah,
Are we? I guess Dom will ask the party as we're getting the buys handled. I know Reganutham would likely pay a good price as he is known to collect and breed animals like this, but we could also keep and hatch these for ourselves if we wanted to ensure they survived and were bonded, but we could also try to find someone to sell it to, but I'm not sure who around here would give us a fair value.
Ben, are you up to the task of making sure these things hatch?
I do my best.
That's all I can ask from you, buddy. We'll keep the eggs.
I stand over top of them and start
know.
to squat down.
Let me know how I can assist Ned, and I will see to it. As soon as I can write a letter, I will inform Utham of this and see what he has to say.
All right, let's collect our reward and see if we get anything extra for the dragons. At least we should.
Oh, if not, we're going to sell them.
All right.
If not, yes, we sell them and have magic items made or something.
Sounds good to me.
All right. As you lot head into town with Sen, I assume Sen, you're just following after them.
Yeah, it's my job.
Okay. As you lot kind of head further into the city, going up to the large central kind of castle-like building, going towards the guild, the adventuring guild itself, the Frozen Brain Guild. You lot find yourselves kind of navigating over to the corner. As you do so, going up as you go up the large flight of stairs, all 4 flights of them, finding yourselves at the very top where you had taken the quest. The female frost giant behind the desk kind of looks up at you. Her long hair kind of slightly flowing a bit in the cold wind that blows up here, and goes, "Oh, you lot actually survived. Mayor Dan was fully sure that everyone would manage to get themselves killed."
Hardly an inconvenience, barely a scratch.
At least for him. Some of us did get pretty damaged, but we did the job all right.
She nods and goes, "I'm just more shocked," as she kind of looks at the creature and goes, "That's a goose."
Yes.
Yep, what appears to be a dire. It breathed ice.
She kind of.
So I guess that's how it got
some kind
confused.
of goose dragon.
She kind of steps around the reception's desk and kind of comes walking over to Sen, who I imagine at this point is setting these down.
I'm like really trying to untie these ropes because they're wrapped all around me, and I'm making progress, but I imagine it's not super fast.
She kind of looks, kind of walks over and looks up and down and goes, "Well, that's where those dragons went. Understandable. Interesting. I can't help. Okay, she kind of takes a second and really seems kind of flustered for a moment with it as she tries to gather her thoughts and goes, I'll let Regan Newtham know right away. For the time being, feel free to remove the corpse. For the dragons, if you don't want the bodies, I imagine Mayor Dan would be more than willing to offer you 1,000 gold pieces a piece for the dragons. Maybe how about 1,500 gold pieces? Maybe it would be even fair, I imagine.
1,500 gold pieces. Actually, yeah. Who wants to? Would appraise be the proper skill here?
Yes. Or if you have profession mercantile.
What about?
I think.
Yeah, I did it last time. What about armor smithing? Because I know, like, generally.
Yeah,
how...
I would take that. You'd be able to assess how much you'd be able to make out of these.
There's a Sturrock literally buys monster parts to turn, or takes them to turn into magic items. So, and Donna would have mentioned that on her way in, so we might be getting lowballed.
What did Kez get for his appraise?
Oh, I didn't roll. I was just curious on what to roll.
Oh, okay. Did you not want to roll? Or
I mean, I have a +2 to my appraise. I mean, yeah, I'll give it a shot. 8.
8? Okay.
Yeah.
As you kind of lean down, take a look, Eider kind of walks over next to you as he's looking up and kind of starts whispering up to you, I imagine, going, so that I'd put about 4,000 gold pieces worth for the scales on the 2 small ones, so that'd be 4,000 a piece. The medium one, I'd probably put about 6,000 for the parts we could probably make items out of.
So do you want to keep these yourself, or do we want to see what we can do about an actual crafter?
I am an actual crafter.
Well...
I imagine the look of slight disdain.
Just look over at Dom like, damn.
Yeah, I'm exchanging a look with Ned like, oh.
I didn't mean it like that. I apologize. That was the wrong choice of words. Someone local.
We're going to be establishing a bit of a home base here. We can do it ourselves.
We are?
Do you want to leave in the next 20 minutes? We need to set down roots for a little while to figure out.
Oh, sorry, delay.
Dom, go ahead.
Utham requested we help get this town established, which means we will likely be doing at least a few more errands and missions. Plus, we agreed it would be good to linger and ensure that you know who didn't get a foothold here while this place is new. Keep things in check. And he makes a he like very, as I say, is like lowering his voice, but he's also suddenly going to like touch his chest as he speaks, like as like a casual gesture. But I assume Kez can catch the meaning.
All right. Yeah, that's fine. We need to get stronger, anyways. This doesn't seem like a bad place to do it. All right. Do we have are we gonna keep the ship as our home base, or do we plan on purchasing property here?
Let's keep the ship. I don't imagine having property is as valuable.
I mean, one could argue a smart economic decision is to buy it now when it's not valuable, and then sell it once we've made the town, you know.
This is the equivalent of a startup right now.
Yeah, Dom starts listing off a bunch of like financial advice that none of you are familiar with or ever heard of. The concept of buying property and people care. You can just walk out and build a house in the middle of the woods. Who's gonna care?
No, Dom Nazar's not that into economic stuff. I don't have that in my my proficiency.
Dom's side profession, finance analyst.
I'll to the lady at the guild. We'll keep the dragon.
Sure.
Of course, yeah.
The goose I will need, I guess, the whole thing, unless I'm told otherwise. If there's any parts returned, I'll have you sent for. It's you are part of the Calorium squad or something of the sort.
Then gives a thumbs up.
Yes. Oh, okay. I'll make sure we reach out and get in contact then.
Temporary alias, yes.
But yeah, if there's anything to be removed, as she kind of cuts the ropes off of Sen's back, kind of taking the goose in hand and walking over to the table and setting it down. And as for your payment, give me one moment. I have 2,000 gold pieces right here. As we count, as she kind of starts setting them out in front of you, and goes, you can either take this or we do offer equivalent goods. However, equivalent goods is dealt with as a voucher. You can go into town and basically hand them this document from Mayor Dan that states how much it's worth.
I think we'll just take the gold. Thank you very much.
Smart idea. Mayor Dan is quite crazy.
Yeah.
I've experienced.
Oh, he drove a poor guy, like, ran wild when he was running through the streets the other day. It was horrible as she kind of sighs and, like, sits down.
That was me.
You hear a slight giggle as she kind of turns and kind of stands up from the chair and walks back into the room, closing the door.
All right, we've got 2,000 here. Dom, what's in the party funds, please?
In the party funds, I did remember to note this down before session. Go me. We currently, if I did it correct, which I'll double check after this, but I'm fairly certain I did, the cut per person, so this would have been Kez's cut and is now the party's funds, is 9,603.75 gold, 374 GP of gems, and 1,000 silver pieces. So it is a hefty party fund.
All right.
It is not hurt.
I say we take 1,000 of this reward and put it towards the party fund, and then split the last 1,000 amongst us.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I'll start getting my forge built.
Dom kind of counts out the 250 gold amongst and hands it to each of you. As she,
I forget and then hand it to Sen instead.
Yep. As Sen just kind of imagine holds out his hand, waiting.
Let's pay him out of the party funds.
Let me subtract that from the amount owed. Hold on. There we go.
That 250.
Yeah, 250 gold.
Sweet.
As you kind of stand at the gal eventually kind of comes back out, grabbing the giant corpse, or the corpse of the goose, and kind of takes it to the back. At which point you hear some big laughing, as well as some jokes being made about the goose itself. Something about the goose does not match the gander. It seems to continue going on in the background.
Hell yeah.
All right. Got a pretty sizable bank account on my person.
Yeah, we all really need to invest in bags of holding or something to keep this safe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder what that's like.
We also still have the chest that we didn't split up, the chest that we were given by Greg. We have not split that payment up to anyone. It's just in there.
It's just on the ship, in the wagon.
In the most secure area. In the wagon, no one can remove from the ship. So no one can really get the chest out easy. It is a heavy chest.
Is there a magical shop in this town yet, or is it not developed enough to have had one yet?
There is. Dom had noted the place when you guys had come together earlier, mentioning the place called Vevizer.
Alright. Hey guys, I'm gonna head over to Vevizer for just to browse their wares.
Like flash Kaz a thumbs up and say, all right, almost shop around, see about materials.
Ater,
Yep.
With the dragon parts, I am looking for some new armor. I like my ghost stuff, but it's not exactly what I'm looking for.
Yep.
I assume you can only make scale mail out of at least the dragons or leather out of it.
I like look it over and say, we need a slightly bigger dragon, I think, for making something more substantial. Technically speaking, if the dragon's big enough, you can make a full plate mail out of it, but that requires larger scales.
Gotcha. So most likely the most we're going to get out of this is scale mail.
That's about right. You could also get something a little bit more substantial out of it. Doesn't break the druid oaths, but still scale mail.
Alright, if you wouldn't mind giving me an idea of what it might look like in terms of what it can do, that'd be much appreciated.
Sure.
Also, we can talk about it whenever you're ready.
Talk about what?
Soul magic.
Not yet. I'm not ready to talk about this yet.
Dom just got a 1,000-yard stare right now.
If it puts your mind
Dom
at
out there,
ease
like,
in the
kinda-
slightest, it's not necromancy.
It's not really the problem there. And I'll leave to go to the magic shop.
Alright.
Down under is just like, Aether, you and I can talk about things if you want. I don't think our leader will want to address things for a while.
Ned just goes, well, the eggs aren't going to sit on themselves. And I'd like to start walking towards the ship.
Yep, heading back towards the airship, yeah?
They're still in the stomach sacks too. He's gonna
Eider
sit
and Dom, where you two heading?
on-
You good?
I was gonna say, Dominer wanted to ask Eider about some crafting stuff. So if you have something, go ahead. If not, I have RP.
Oh no, we can RP and because my shopping is relatively rudimentary because it's just getting very basic building materials for
Cool.
the forge
Yeah,
on the
then
ship.
Dom will travel with Eider. I think. Did you say Kez went to the ship, or Kez just went?
No,
on the
Kez has gone off on his own. As he mentioned, he's going to Vivizor.
I will gesture for Sen to follow Kez because Kez is alone unattended, and Kez has been.
As you look
before.
back, Sen is nowhere to be seen.
Oh well,
It's not unusual to
very
be fair.
stealthy, so. I was gonna say he still makes the gesture if Sen sees it. If he doesn't, whatever. I assume he's still doing his job. It hasn't been a week yet, so he's not gotten the paycheck yet.
Walking down the street.
He'll kind of look down at Eider as we're walking. I know you are a crafter. I've been in need for a time, as you saw in combat, for something more than my fists. Mind you, I don't plan to be wielding swords or anything anytime soon. It's not my style, but I'm not up to par with the rest. I was hoping you could help me perhaps in acquiring something like gauntlets or of a similar sort. Something light that's something my style. I could give descriptions. I have vague ideas for things, but I don't think just my fists are going to cut it. And clearly my abilities are upsetting, so I would like to not use them often.
It just kind of gives a slow nod. So, yeah. Pretty easily done. There's a variety of fist weapons. Some of my dwarven cousins are a little bit more pugilists, I guess is the easiest way to try and call it.
Yes, I will say my style is unconventional. If you haven't noticed, it is free form. It is of my own creation. But I, of course, have most basic martial unarmed fighting, so anything that can suit that is good. Don't give me a ranged weapon, is what I'm saying. And kind of chuckles.
I just kind of chuckle, smile for a moment, think, and say, "Are you sure about that? Darts might be quite up your alley."
I have considered range for situations that call for it. I've not practiced much with them, but I mean, I was young. You do things. You practice throwing pebbles at targets. Darts, I could likely do. Do you have something specific in mind?
No, they're relatively cheap to manufacture pretty quickly as well. Also, I can't tell how secretive was Dom about trying to poison their claws.
You would have noticed during the fight, he was not I mean, honestly, it's hard to tell in the mix of it. It was a blizzard, but you saw him uncork a bottle. You saw him pour it on what were previously seen as just like kind of elaborate manicured like nails. Like if anyone had looked, his claws were always like exposed, but most people were probably like, oh, that giant has some extravagant nails. But he kind of just corked it off, coated them, and then you would have seen him attempt to poison. So it wasn't like he was hiding it. He wasn't like, I'm putting poison on my hand, like announcing it. But he doesn't seem to have felt the need to hide that part like he did the scales.
Yeah, I was more like just like clocking how reasonable it would be to make a comment about it.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
As you continue walking, what shop are you heading to out of curiosity? Or rather, what are you shopping for? I guess would be more the appropriate question.
I was just shopping for like basic kind of building materials because I need to build up like a forge on the actual like airship itself.
Okay. Yeah, as you head towards the what you see an armor smith in town, or you had seen one previously that was called and I'm gonna butcher this, Yernarbid. I think I pronounced that roughly correctly. Old Norse is not my specialty. But you see this massive smithy that's been kind of set up. Most of it seems to be outdoors with a large kind of glowing-looking smithy. Gemstones that seem to outline the edge of it. A thick bluish stone or stone-like metal seems to kind of encompass as the forge itself. The anvil looks to be made of solid iron, which in this day and age would be extremely rare to see, as iron's not a very common metal. The smith seems to be kind of standing around this silver-scaled dragonkin that you kind of looks to have these massive shoulders, almost mistakenly as a drakekin for how big they are if it wasn't for their small wings on their back. They seem to have one eye kind of scarred over as you see them, and they look to have a couple of different items of what looks to be metals kind of set aside for sale, as well as suits of armor off to the side. What looks to be planks of wood, as well as bricks and stones, as well, and a couple of barrels that are set to a side with what looks to be for sale signs that says "Grab what you need, a copper per pound."
Okay. Yeah, toss through like the bricks, using some of my good old dwarven stone cutting.
Oh yeah. Give me an appraise check for it. Let's see if anything catches your eye specific. Otherwise, as you gather the best of the bricks that you as you look through them, kind of weighing each of them, seeing which ones kind of look like they're gonna crack, which ones are kind of hollower in the center.
Including stone cutting, 16.
16. As you're kind of working through, you get to the bottom as you're kind of pulling aside, and there's a one that as you kind of scrape it with the gauntlet of your adamantine armor, you watch as it seems to kind of pull away the orangish color, and you see what looks to be a dark blue underneath it. As you kind of take a moment to look in, you, with your appraise check, realize this looks to be solid lyrium, which is basically, in this world, solid magic, in a sense, unprocessed and can be turned into potions. It's also very chaotic in material, but used for most arcane crafting.
I was like, give a low whistle, grab it, flip the guy a copper.
You see as the kobold cat or dragon king kind of looks at you and sees you grab him through the bricks and just kind of shakes his head as he looks at you and just goes back to forging away. A little look of disdain in his eyes as he kind of looks away. It goes back to hammering away. Yeah, as you walk away, you take, I assume, about what? Are you just taking that one brick and leaving the rest there, or are you gonna take the rest of the good bricks you found?
I'm gonna take the rest of the good brick. I'm just like making special note to like stash that before he could fucking clock that it was a sellable commodity that he was basically giving away.
Oh yeah, easily. As you kind of put the one away, grabbing that one, immediately paying for it. As you stack a few more, you get around 20 bricks. I assume you're doing this to make a small smithy, or like forge. Yeah. Yeah, as you think you've got roughly enough materials with about 20 bricks as you go through it. These are about the only ones you'd be comfortable enough using, as none of them seem to be poorly made as you finish about. The Dragon Kid kind of looks at you as he sees the tall thing of bricks and just kind of gives you a disdainful look, holding out his hand, waiting to see for you to pay him.
I reach into my corn purse, pull out a gold, and say,
Well, I suppose you have change, do you?
He looks up at Dom Nander and goes, "Are you this individual's owner?"
No, I'm the customer.
You're Ugh. I don't do business with snowbeards.
"Oh, cool.
We're
Well, I guess
sent
they're free
here
then."
by the Reagan himself. He would want you to do whatever this man asks in terms of a regular customer. And Dom kind of doesn't posture up threateningly, but kind of crosses his arm as he's standing up way above Eider and kind of just looking down, down at the Dragonkin. Kind of 100% serious,
He
very
just
blunt.
kind of uncrosses his arms and goes, Fine, I'll do business with the Snowbeard. It's not like he's gonna craft anything that can compete with my goods. Yes, I can give you change for the gold piece. It's 20 bricks, 20 copper pieces, so 2 silver pieces. Yeah, I can give you 8. As he kind of digs through, turns around and digs through a leather sack that he has sitting on top of a barrel, and it pulls out 8 silver coins and sets them down onto a little bench off to the side, and goes, "I don't touch hands with lesser creatures."
I know it's hard to recognize your betters. Soon you'll see my wares, though. Have a good day.
He takes the gold, glaring at you, and goes back to hammering away at the sword he was working at, or not sword, the armor padding he was working at.
As a just purely catty asshole move. Can I do look over his thing, and see if he's made a mistake that I can call out as I leave?
Yeah, give me an appraise check, or I'll take a knowledge or profession for weaponsmithing or armor smithing.
Yeah, I'll do armor smithing. 23.
23. As you kind of take a second noticing, he is hammering a solid piece of what looks to be what he seems to think is iron, as the way he's hitting it so hard. It's clearly not a solid actual iron. This thing is mixed with a lot of tin, and what he is doing is going to cause this plate to crush right through.
I just chuckle and say, that's a tin pot, not an iron plate.
Takes a look at it a second and looks down at it, and you just hear a sigh, a bit of an angry sigh as suddenly you see him going for another tool and pulling the plate off as you walk away.
Donder kind of is quiet as the interaction happens, but once we've left her out of earshot, looks down at you and just has a smirk on and is like, I wasn't sure about you joining the party, but I think I've determined I like you being here. And then just glances back towards the Dragonkin with also kind of a smug expression, despite not having interacted.
As you two kind of continue on your way back to the ship, we're gonna jump over to Kaz. Kaznok, you still alive?
I'm still kicking.
Has the bread and butter killed you yet?
No. In fact, it's made me stronger.
As you head into town, kind of finding the magic item shop that you had heard Dom mention earlier, you come across a small granite building that looks to have been recently built. Most of the stones seem to be simple in their carving and design. The door itself seems to be more of a cloth as you kind of walk through, seeing the very open, snowy floor, the shelves full of what looks to be weapons, little bits and bobs of wondrous items, some new unique robes, a couple of what looks to be items that you wouldn't normally see at stores. What looks to one of them catches your eye, a clear sign that says "Robe of Powerlessness," with a warning sign: "Do not touch if magic caster." And as you kind of walk in, you see an Eric Cochran standing there, this large, great, great gray owl, big yellow eyes, and this massive face that seems to kind of look over you. This individual stands about 8 feet tall and about 6 feet wide. They are very thick and round in the middle, as they look to be wearing normal green merchant's, like a merchant's vest, as well as some simple clothing underneath. He kind of turns his head as you walk in and goes, "Excuse me, good sir. I welcome you to the Vizier. My name is Bronze. The owner, Breeze, is unavailable at this time. I apologize for any inconveniences that may cause you. How may I be of assistance today?"
Well, I'm just here I know, this town is relatively new, and I'm just wondering what you guys have in stock.
I specialize in acquiring things from all, not only made here and local, but I also manage to trade with some of the sky pirates that do like to come through. The Vikinger are a common trade partner of ours here. Allow me to take a moment's look. Sir, if you don't mind my asking, what are any items you're looking for in particular? New weapons, armor, potions? Maybe I can suggest a few goods that might be of assistance to you.
I'm definitely looking for a bag of holding, but anything you might be able to recommend for someone like me, I definitely won't be opposed to hearing.
I don't know what your price range is, so let's start with the easier item. You said you have an item in mind, so let's go with that. As he kind of digs through a big box, kind of pulling it up and setting it down, and goes, "I have a few bags of holding. It depends on your interest here. So I've got the Type 1s, quite common. The Type 2s are about a little more on the pricier side. You're talking 5,000 gold pieces. However, I do have a specially made one that was made by a local. He's a youngster in training, but he does make good work. But because he's an apprentice, I can't sell it full price. And then, of course, I've got these bags of coining that incessant idiot merchant dragon keeps involving himself with, and keeps sending them over here to my men to buy, and they're horrible things. I can't seem to sell them anywhere. Everyone already has one," he says. He kind of continues on as he goes into a long tirade about these bags of coining.
Can you tell me about the apprentice item?
Oh, yes. The item, it's a bag of holding, but it's a bit more difficult to work. From my understanding, it holds as much as some of the top of the line bags of holding that I've seen. But the problem is the item itself seems to, on occasion, tear itself apart, and so your items will spill out. But, I mean, that's the cost of doing business, in truth.
So it can hold just as much, but I risk it eating itself.
It can 1,500 pounds. It won't eat itself. You'll just have to sew it up on occasion. If you have someone who's good with leather working, who's experienced maybe in crafting wondrous items, they may be able to improve on the design. Right now, it's more like two creatures' leather that was kind of patched together to make this. It's not the greatest, but it holds 1,500 pounds. Although I wouldn't trust it above 1,000.
Well, how much are you willing to let go of that?
I'll be honest, I've had it for months now, and no one's wanted it. You'd be doing me a favor, because at least I could tell the young man that he finally succeeded in a part of his apprenticeship. If it breaks apart on you, I'd feel bad, so, yeah. How much would you be willing to pay for it? I feel like that's more willing. I can't ask a fair price of this, as it's not really a traditional item. So, what are you willing to offer for it?
How much is the tier 1?
About 2,500 gold pieces is the standard market rate.
Then how about 4 grand?
Are you sure? That's quite a lot of gold for an item that could really be a ruinous piece for you at the worst timing.
Yeah, but sometimes some people need some confidence, and hopefully this will give the apprentice some more drive to keep on going and perfect his craft.
He nods and goes, I truly appreciate it. I can't say. Truly, I'll let him know. And he kind of hands it over to you. Yeah, so you can mark this as a bag of holding type 4. However, with the note that it only carries up to 1,000 pounds reliably, above 1,500, you will have to make a strength, or it will have to make a strength check.
Bag of holding Mark 4.
Yep.
1K holding.
Yep. Above is strength check for the item. And that's DM to roll, so. Otherwise, it works like a type 4 bag of holding altogether, so.
All right, and I will remove 4 grand. There we go. Nice. And I'll say, hey, I'm a cleric, so, I'm definitely not as inclined to use a lot of, mage craft type of items. If anything that might be of interest to me and my crew are going to be staying in town for a little bit. So if there's anything that might spark my interest, please let me know.
I mean, I have a few items that might be of interest to you. You're quite a capable individual, I assume, in combat. Looking you up and down, I can't help but notice. I assume you are a priest of some sort?
Yes, I am a cleric of Ella Ugbo.
I don't know much about her politics, but a healer had died a while back at Hrim Purser's last hold during a vicious attack by some gloom. Their armor was left behind, and I'll be honest, it probably suit you more than it would suit anyone else. It's of a large size, but it's kind of for a thinner figure, if you understand what I mean.
Sounds like it was made for me. Is there any details of this item? Of
kind
this
of.
armor?
He brings it out, and it is a full set of plate. It looks to be masterwork, and and it is a +1 full plate from what you can tell. And he goes, "This was it's an old item, but from what I can see, it works fantastic. I managed to, from what I understand, keep that cleric up for hours during a siege when they were at the worst situation. So I think it has magical properties, but I don't know what the properties could be."
Well, how much are you willing to sell this for?
It's not really a family heirloom anymore, so I think 400 gold pieces is a fair enough to it. It's old, and the magic is not really known to us, so I really feel like you're going to have to do the hard work of identifying it and learning about it, or trusting it to protect you.
Well, 400 sounds nice. I'd like to start a good relationship amongst us, so I'll give you $1,000 for it.
He looks at you and goes, "Are you sure?"
I am. I think it's really good to make friends.
Yes. It's truly, I mean, you'd be honoring the cleric who wore it before you. As long as you continue to stand by and do good and take care of people, I would be more than happy to even give it to you. I don't feel right, honestly, selling a holy man's armor to another holy man, if I'm completely honest with you. It's just an item that came in. It did have a weird note in it, if you don't...
What's the note?
Kind of digs into it and kind of goes... He pulls it out and goes... It reads, "To the son I never had, good luck. If my death has come to be alarming, good." And that's all it says.
Huh.
It kind of looks at you.
I mean, I'll keep the note too. Just
Sure.
I might want to
Here,
research into
let me suit it to you right now. It'll make it a lot more comfortable. Here, and he kind of starts to help you. Kind of walks over to help you out of your full plate. I see. Oh no, you're wearing scale mail, right?
Yeah, it's the ghost touched scale mail.
Yeah.
It's translucent and shit. It's like ghostly scale mail.
He's gonna walk over and kind of look at it and goes, I don't know how to kind of pick it up, but here, if you want to take it off, I
got you, and I'll just take it off.
And he kind of looks at you and kind of says, "Okay, here." And he sets it to the side on the table and puts on helps you put on the armor and goes, "Now, I recommend with this, as far as it goes, as he kind of tightens some leather straps and goes, don't use this unless don't pray to your god in this unless you are ready for you're on your last stand, in my opinion. They will at that point. From my understanding, the cleric before you had been chosen or something by their god and exploded in light, attacked everyone, killed a lot of people. So, although to be fair, they were all enemies. It was understandable.
Okay. Good to know. Alright, thank you.
You can now add a -4 to your charisma score. This does count as +1 full plate, but you are now wearing Armor of Rage. And as you go to try and take it off, it does not come off. And as you look back up with anger and irritation in your eyes, the owl is gone, and you watch as this seagull-looking fellow walks in with simple golden robes, a smile on his face, and goes, "Hello, my name is Breeze. How do you do?"
Hi, Breeze. Does a large owl fellow work for you?
Oh, we had a customer like that come in earlier. He mentioned asking about some guy named Jakix being in town. I told him there would be no one of that name, otherwise Uthem would have killed him. I don't know anything much more about the guy. He left pretty quickly. By the way, you didn't take any of the cursed items that have been left on the shelves. I'm moving a bunch of stuff out of here. I hope you didn't touch anything. I left a sign on the door. Oh, it's gone. Well, yeah, I assume you didn't touch anything. So, go enjoy. You can go and enjoy yourself. I don't recommend buying anything as I move my merchandise. We're gonna have new items coming in, as Regan Utham has told me we're getting rid of the cursed items and not selling them anymore.
Yeah. Thanks. I'll grab my
Scale.
my chain, my scale mail, and I'll leave.
It kind of as you go out, he goes, "Happy day! I hope you have a great one. Be careful in the streets. It's cold."
Thanks. By the way, is that a -4 to my attribute charisma or just like my skill-based charisma?
Your skill-based. So you can put it as a temporary. There's a temporary section on the sheet, and you can just do a -4 to the total.
Yeah, it's your charisma stat.
Yeah. Which I believe brings you down to a 16. Yes, Dom?
I wasn't sure if you saw. I am needing to likely dip.
No worries.
Now I'm
Yeah.
getting close to 10.
As you lot head back
Didn't want to leave
towards...
without making sure you saw.
Yeah, as you lot head back towards the ship now, Dom and Ida together, Ned already headed back ahead of everyone, and with Sen kind of back at the ship working on the wagon as Kesnanok heads that direction. We're going to end things here today as session comes to a close. We thank you all for watching. We hope you all enjoyed, and if we've learned anything, it's not to touch any items that Royce ever gives you. Thank you all, and see you next time.